a second chance, trusted you again. I feel shattered. Broken strings, cause you play me like a violin. Shame on me for all.
Welcome to the third week of the Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. This is the third week of the Valorant competition at Esports Tower, and we are looking forward to some exciting group stage games tonight. On the show tonight, we will be showing 3 games from the group stage and show you who made it to the grand finals. The grand finals will be brought to you next Wednesday right here on the Boise State Esports channel. I am your host, Artie Nerdybird Rain, and joining me to call all the action is Riley Nappy Boyd. So, Riley, other than the new map, what are you looking forward to the most to see this week, since, you know, this is a little bit different than what we're used to being able to do?
Well, first of all, I think that I believe that we were told Breeze is not in rotation this week, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's a little disappointing. I was hoping to see that come in, but, you know, got to give people more time to kind of understand the different metrics of the map and whatnot. I'm just looking forward to just continuing to see how these players continue to progress. You know, it's our constant theme every week. How does teamwork and communication progress through these players, and how do different players react with different teammates and all that stuff? I really enjoy seeing that, and that just makes it so much more different than any other type of gameplay that we see with how these rumbles work. You know, we don't get to see that in, you know, at the college level and at the professional level, because they're with the same people every single week for years sometimes. So it's different, and I love that.
Well, part of Esports Tower is kind of constantly looking at the teams you have available and seeing what adjustments you could make. So I'm not positive, but we could possibly see some swaps around. However, like we mentioned previously, this is going to be our group stage. We've never actually had the opportunity to showcase this before. And for this week, we'll be looking at my apologies. This week's show is just focused on the group stage, and then next week will be the finals. The event will be the grand finale, so make sure you are here next week to watch that. And there will be 2 groups of 3 playing in the best of 1 group stage, and the top 2 teams will advance to the grand finals, which will be a best of 3. All teams in this week's event are silver and gold ranked average rosters. And Vapor is returning from last week's Rumble Championship, but is on a new roster this week. So as I mentioned, they do adjust things at Esports Tower to, you know, try to find the best matches for players across the board and create the most well-rounded teams. I'm very excited to see how that roster change affects the total overall gameplay and the communication we see from these teams this week.
Yeah, and, you know, you mentioned that it's a lot of silver and gold average rank, but, you know, we talked about this. We heard Doc talk about this in the interview last week that we had. The ranks in Valorant sometimes are completely different, and they don't necessarily showcase, you know, just how good these players are. So, yeah, you might hear silver and gold rank, but some of these players play at ridiculously high levels. It's just rank games. Sometimes they get scuffed because you get a teammate that is AFK or, you know, is throwing intentionally, you know, calling out, you know, where you are on the map and stuff just to troll, you know. So it's a whole different ball game when you get into this kind of a thing from those ranked games. So I have faith that these guys probably play at a higher level than that.
And before we get into this, of course, we always bring you Doc's keys to the game, and they are presented today by Esports Tower. Sport Pro advice at esportstower.com, and our keys in particular, our callouts are critical. Watch your corners, call out ability usage, and track enemy econ. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Once again, these are Doc's keys to the game, brought to you by Esports Tower.
Yeah, I think that those callouts, once again, are always the most important thing in Valorant. We talk about it every week.
Well, starting out our group stage here for Valorant is Esports Tower Surge versus Esports Tower Riptide. The map is Ascent that we'll be able to watch this all go down on. What are you anticipating is going to be, you know, the most kind of crucial style of gameplay to occur here if you're the attacking team to be beginning at least?
Pace just continues to determine these maps. We see it every week. Just how quickly these teams decide to play makes all the difference in the world. I've always said getting a pistol win or two under your belt is always nice, just because you get that that first round, you know, starting off up 1-0 just kind of instills a little bit of confidence. So winning your pistols is super important, and it'll just be interesting to see, you know, how these teams react. You know, some roster changes. I think that I see that one of the main roster changes, one of our last week teams from the championship is on Surge now. Is that what I saw? I believe. So,
yes.
Nice. That'll be fun. Kind of see how they react with some new teammates.
Well, this is our Group A match with, what, as I mentioned, Team Surge versus against Team Riptide on Ascent, and winning this in the group stage is a huge deal for all of the players involved, because this is a best of one, and that means they'll be able to make it out of the group stage and head into the grand finals.
Coming back.
Yeah, and you see the pace there early. Once again, kind of determining things. You know, some early trades going back and forth there. You saw, I believe it was Surge that kind of just flew into that first tunnel there, and then it kind of slowed down as some trades went through, and it went 2-2 on the trades, so now you're into a 3v3.
We do see a flash going out there from Phoenix, and they have identified the location of all three players from the other team. That's always risky, and a headshot immediately comes out. The Sage is still alive, thankfully, so there's only down one man, and they have their support available. However, 2v3, always a little bit difficult, especially when you're on the side that's trying to plant.
Yeah, and we talk about it every week. This trigger placement from these players is just fantastic. You know, you see down, they jump down and get on that head glitch, and it's just an easy tap there right to the head. There's the heal coming through from Sage. You know, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how these teams work this plant. It is a rotation over here towards this B site. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to go default or if they want to kind of switch it up. That'll always kind of vary on how teams retake sites, depending on where the plant is.
And we do have Cypher getting this plant off. There's all three members of the Surge are still alive, and so they've got to be careful while they're sitting here. Sage, I do not know if they have their wall ability up or not. Of course, I, as a Sage player, love to wall that left side to make sure it's much harder for people to funnel in from both locations. We do see Sova is peeking rather boldly there on the left, as we have Cypher now looking down to make sure that they can't get an easy sight on them.
Yeah, you saw that camera play come out. Both of them are playing black site here, so they're just kind of waiting for someone to push in. And you see that's a nice peek, using that knife, kind of abusing the cameras in this game. The jiggle comes through. You can't find a find there. Unfortunately, that would have been a big shot to hit, but those alarm bots are kind of giving information to see if anyone peeks. The push gets aggressive. What is going on here? This is that was a bizarre push. The knife's coming out.
The knife came out. Sage, it seemed like, didn't even realize that Sova was there on their left, and I do not know how they managed to completely stay alive the entire time. But, you know, sometimes it just works out in your favor, and the timer completely ran out on the detonator, so I guess that just, you know, that kill didn't come fast enough.
Yeah, I think that was just one of those things where no one really expected that to happen that way, and there's probably a little bit of I lost full there, and then at the same time, just a little bit of, well, it doesn't really matter. We can't get the defuse off. Spike's going to go, so we might as well just kind of do our thing, I guess. I don't know. That was a bizarre one.
All right, as we're going into this next one, we are looking right now. We've got, I believe Astra has used a couple of their smokes already. We've got Reyna now trying to look down to see if there's anybody immediately in the area. They're in a risky situation right now because that smoke has gone down. Another one has already come out, though, so it's going to allow them to rotate rather quickly.
Yeah, and there you go. You see the push coming through mid. That was a 5-hit through mid, so it's one of those things where sometimes just numbers overwhelm, and we saw, I believe, the judge coming out there just kind of taking care of business.
Sage did use their heal ability right there to heal up their Killjoy. Killjoy is the one with the spike right now, and they are attempting already to get the plant off, but oh my. Vapor is just going in and destroying.
That was such a nice play from Vapor, and then what a play from New. Holy cow, that was crazy. The 4-piece there at the end. What a clutch, but yeah, that was sweet. The right clicks came through. They kind of just worked their way through the smoke there and took care of business, hit some right clicks.
It's very interesting. We've got people named I'm New and New LOL as the...
Something tells me that they're probably not actually new.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, this was nice here. Just being able to move and use that smoke, kind of get those shot baits, and then hit the shots. Excuse me, I thought there was some right clicks in there, but no such thing. That was just a really good play and really good use of movement through the smoke there and baits with the shots.
Vapor is a very aggressive Jett player, and of course, you know, if you're playing Jett, pretty much the only option for playstyle is to be aggressive. So it's very nice to see someone playing into that character's playstyle as strongly as Vapor does. And we do also have Cozy, who is who's very strong in the Sentinel role, and they like to play more in the control bomb site by themselves. But they're also a top fragger for their team, so I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Wow, and there you go. There's the Sheriff going off for 3 there at the end from Vapor there. Jett just continuing to be aggressive, and Cozy did just kind of sit in backside there and survived all by themselves, just kind of with a Spectre, not really doing much besides getting good info.
I mean, Cozy is, you know, passive aggressive, and when you have someone who is aggressive, it can pull away a lot of the attention from you and allow you just to chill out for a little bit. So those playstyles obviously complement each other very well.
Yeah, you saw it looked like they was trying to be a bait with a swarm grenade there, but it didn't quite get off. I don't quite know what the intent was, but it didn't really work, and then just the bait and switch there, and here comes the op from Vapor early on.
They're doing that aggressive peek right down mid, trying to see if they can get any early shots off. We are looking at Dread right now, who's going very slow, trying to make sure they're not giving away their team's location. I always am worried whenever I see the operator come out. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, a Jett op combo is nasty, and it's all about who can hit shots. And there's the kill and the overheal. But now you've got the information. You know that the op was there in garage, but the doors went down. It's going to be interesting to see who can hold off. And now you see, excuse me, it was up heaven, not in garage. The bullet path was a little bit off. Oh, they went for the wall bang and couldn't find it.
Now it's a 2v3 with Reyna having gone down. Jett's just going to use their ultimate and go in and go ham. Oh, and unfortunately, Dread will, with the Ghost, find Vapor before Vapor can kill them. That's always unfortunate, clicking your ultimate and then just getting insta-killed.
And that was crazy, too. You don't see a lot of people invest in the op and pull those knives, because the knives are basically a weapon of their own. I mean, they are. I mean, just because you can get them back if you hit the shots. So you don't see a lot of people go knives with a Sheriff and an op. So that was a huge investment there from Vapor, and it just didn't work, and he's asking for the op back. I don't know if they're going to get it. Oh, they are.
I mean, it's your own teammate who managed to pick up your operator. Odds are they picked it up to save it for you, so you don't have to buy it again. And if your teammate's going to sit there and be like, no, I'm not going to give it back to you. You messed up on that last run. Well, then they're not a very nice teammate, in my opinion.
It's true. That seems like a pub thing to do.
So going into this next round, we do see that all members on the side of the Riptide have their actually, no, my apologies. 4 out of the 5 members, not including Killjoy, have their ultimate ready to go. We do see that Phoenix on the side of the Surge also has their ultimate. I'm interested to see if anybody does choose to pop them. ImNew has already gotten a kill out on the Killjoy, and Vapor already got a kill out on Pog. So 3v5, you may need a pop ults.
Yeah, and you see here just waiting to see for this Astra Smoke to clear, see if they can find anyone. I don't know how long it's got left. There you go. Just the timing. That was a great play there from the side of Riptides to just kind of be patient, peek. You couldn't really see anything through the smoke, so timing it well, knowing how long that smoke's going to be up.
We do hear the resurrection coming out from Sage, and then unfortunately Vapor takes Sage out right away, so it kind of nullifies that. Thankfully they did get one of their teammates up. Just now they do not have anybody to help them heal out. We've still got 2 ultimates on the side of the Riptides. They've got to plant here in the next 47 seconds. It seems more like, in my opinion at least, they're going slow and trying to get picks and trying to get the locations of everyone figured out. It's going to be very difficult to get in here if they're trying to plan on point A, though.
Yeah, and here you go. There's a great peek from Cozy there, just getting real aggressive with it and flying out. You know, that was a wide aggressive peek there. Good play. Once, like you said, playing that site, just being smart and methodical with it.
I won't lie, I've had some people yell at me to just run if we're on attack with the spike and saying it doesn't matter if your location's known. And that's in quick play, of course, unranked. And watching this, I don't ever see people just running when they're on the offensive. So it makes me feel a lot better about that I choose not to.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I mean, even if you can't get it down, you know, if you play it slow, and that's just great crosshair placing there as well. But even if you can't get it down, finding those elims there at the end, finding an exit if you know it's going to be over and you can't win the round, or just finding a pick in general can just help your econ. So not being aggressive with just flying is the best strategy unless, you know, it's an actual game that matters.
We still have 3 ultimates ready on the side of the Riptides right now. I'm curious to see if we're going to see that Reyna pop their ultimate. Personally, that's one of my favorite ults in the game.
what an investment over here on this A side as well. You see the swarm grenades go out, the alarm bot coming out from Cozy. They're set up to really just one man to site, I believe.
B seems to be the favored planting site for the side of the Riptides right now, but we do see that they're rotating towards A more, it looks like right now, but I feel as though this might just be to get information and we might see a back rotation like we did in the first round come out from them once again, but of course only time will tell.
Yeah, I think this was just a Gigabrain play here from Cozy, just reading the fact that it was going to be a rotation. Cozy looking for the 4, the alarm bots and the swarm grenade coming in huge there. Cozy just read that like a book. What a play.
Oh, and then Dotbot finds the last kill onto the Sage right there. Flawless round for the Surge. That was beautifully done. But, you know, still anybody's game right now. Just gotta, you know, adjust the strategies coming out. If you are the Riptides, maybe look to go to a different side and instead of looking for, you know, garnering information and then rotating, just go to the point you want first and play slow and play for picks.
Yeah, and, you know, they're just kind of reading the fact that the switch was going to come through. Cozy just kind of said, I'm going to invest in this site. I think a rotation has to come through. At some point, they have to switch it up. And, yeah, that was just an absolutely fantastic play. And, look, now he's investing in Garden here in mid-map. Just trying to make these reads and just, you know, be 2 steps ahead.
It looks like they're looking to rotate towards B, but they are slightly split. We've got a couple people looking over towards A right now. Unfortunately, playing spread out, at least historically in this tournament, it's not worked out in the team's favor that's chosen to be super spread out. We do still have Vapor on that operator looking down mid, trying to get anybody they can see. Unfortunately, people have rotated out of their LOS already, so hopefully Vapor reads that and is able to get in position here soon.
Yeah, and you see there is there a shoulder there through for Dotbot to see. They got a little bit of info, got some shots off, but they couldn't find the elim, and they get hit as well. It's going to be interesting to see if they know that there's more than one there, because it looks like this might try and be a maybe little mid-rotation, but it's going to be a Raptor spawn back towards this A site.
They have to rotate rather quickly. We do still see multiple members of the Surge are checking out B as opposed to rotating towards A, whereas all members of the side of the Riptides are going towards A right now. So technically speaking, you're down a couple men if you've got 2 people on an opposite site while everyone else is rotating towards A. This might be an easy push for the Riptides if they can find those picks early on.
It's all going to be pacing, though, as soon as those first shots go off, and now the info's there, and you see on that mini-map, players are already starting to rotate over through spawn to A. If you're Riptide, you got to go now to try and take advantage of these numbers, and it's not going to be enough time. The trades just come through. Cozy going huge again. Finding 3. Yeah, that was just a really fantastically played round. Again, the defense on this map is just big time right now from Surge.
For the members of the Riptides right now, they've been chilling out on a few of those ultimates for a hot second. I'm wondering when they're going to choose to use them.
It's one of those things, I think, where you don't want to invest them all in one round, but at the same time, they got to start being ready to go. You've got 4 online right now. I believe it's just Sage who's not. It is kind of tough, yeah.
I understand not investing all of them, but that comes down to communication with your teammates as to who's going to use what when, and just having 4 people chill out on their ultimates consistently for multiple rounds, I feel as though is taking away your ability to have some level of aggression, get some extra picks, things of that regard, and just a single pick can put your team up significantly in this game. So with that in mind, I feel like for the side of the Riptides, yes, use your ultimate with regard to what is happening, but also don't be too afraid to hit that ult button.
Yeah, and you've got a couple that can give you pretty good information, I think, you know. As a Cypher, you know, oh, and that's tough. That was just an aggressive play there. Cypher can get a lot of information. When you find that early pick there on the side of the Riptides, especially when you're attacking, you can kind of get an idea of where everyone's set up on defense, and they've got the man advantage. And yep, Cypher, you see the Neural Theft does go into play there, and the Killjoy as well. So a couple invested in this round now. Cozy's just kind of waiting outside of this Killjoy. Got the alarm bot set up and ready to go.
Yeah, that Killjoy ultimate was used a little bit early if they're trying to use it to zone out for as long as possible. Waiting a couple extra seconds might have been more in their favor on that one, at least to allow for a lot of surrounding of their point to make sure the detonator has time to, you know, tick down.
And it's interesting because now you see Cozy actually pop their Killjoy as well. So kind of going back and forth on the ults. The tailwind there from the Jet from Vapor to get into sight, and they all have their back turned.
Oh, no.
Brutal, brutal, brutal. But Riptide did a good job holding off and getting the plant down and getting the win. And there's the ults that came in handy. And I think it all starts with that Cypher's Neural Theft.
The exit frag from the Jet was totally worth it, 100%.
Oh yeah, got to get the econ, right? I mean, you get a couple of kills under your belt there, you know, I mean, no, you're not going to get the round win, but you found 1-2 there at the very end just to kind of boost the econ just that little bit. You never know, you might be, you know, 4,800, need a couple extra 100 credits to get that op again. So, yeah, totally worth it.
We do see that the Jet has their ultimate ready to go again. Sova has theirs. Reyna has their ultimate as well. So does the Omen. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see any of those ultimates get popped this round. I don't know if we'll see too many coming from the Surge because I feel like they have a lot of success even without their ults in play. But Jet might pop it just to, you know, redeem themselves from that last time they used theirs.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive that Surge want to be right now. They got an idea where they are. The spray pattern comes through there. You see the Phantom finding a kill there, getting the headshot, going through. You've got a little bit of an advantage now if you're Riptide, and now it's down to a 3v3. Yeah, ults are going to be interesting. I don't think anyone's going to pop anything right now.
We do see the flash come out there from Phoenix, and with the help of Cozy, they managed to pick up the Sage. So now it is just the Omen. They may go for a plant or they may go for an exit frag. They still got 40 seconds, so that's plenty of time to do something. But for the side of Surge, they have the spike locked down now, so Dread is in a sticky situation.
Now, see, what Dread doesn't know is that all three players from Surge are invested over here on this A site. If he can get his ult popped off, he's going to be able to rotate over to B and maybe try and get a plant down, so it's going to be interesting if they decide to go that way now. You see the spikes picked up, and yep, there it is.
Yep,
there's the ult going off. He's going to try and get this rotation over. He might be able to get this plant down. That's a big brain play from Dread there.
Yes, Dread is planting. They've got plenty of time to get that plant off. There's only 2 members of the Surge remaining. The Killjoy is already very low, so if they can take them out very early, that'll be great for them. Now it's just a sit and wait game.
And they got the smokes off as well, so they've got the different angles kind of locked off. He's going to have that advantage here. He's going to be watching these angles. It's just going to be a question of who pushes from where and if they decide to double push.
We do hear that the sentry's been placed out by Killjoy, so now those angles have kind of been reduced a little bit. Oh, and the sight peek coming out from Cozy was just a little too quick for the Omen to pick up on that one. That's always unfortunate. I do think that defuse is going to go completely through, and it shall.
Yeah, and that was, you know what, that was an incredibly intelligent play, and the crosshair placement was just a little bit lower there. Had it just a little bit high, and I think that's what allowed Cozy to find that first win. If you would have been just a tiny bit lower, you would have been able to just click right in between the eyes and could probably snap onto the other one. Once you get that first one in a clutch, you just get the juices going and the flicks coming through.
So what you're saying is you get the ego boost.
Exactly, exactly. See, my ego boost, though, usually means I'm like, oh, yeah, I found one. Let me just, like, jump chow this like it's Call of Duty and get smoked.
It's okay. I feel your pain. We're looking at Pog right now. It looks like they're rotating to check out Site A. Of course, multiple members of the side of the Surge are already there and waiting for them, but the Surge are a little bit spread out. Killjoy made it through those swarm grenades. They've got to be careful now. Pog's got to wait for those to go down. They're trying to get some information about where everyone is standing right now, and they've almost looks like they've got point A locked down. Well, they just have to, you know, get the picks, and there goes Cozy. That was taken out by Dread, but now it is a 1v4 with just Jet alive. I don't know if that's going to be enough, and as I say that, they go down.
And there is the Odin coming out, just a super OP gun. Those LMGs are super cracked. I actually am kind of surprised that we don't see them more often, because it's just one of those things where if the confidence gets low, you can fall back on just a spray with the LMG, and you're probably going to find something.
Oh, look at this beautiful smoke.
I love it. This is a great view. It's a fantastic view. It's Zen hour.
Where's my meditation bell?
Can we get the call map going on right now, please?
We do have Dotbot heavily guarding over here by A, ready, expecting that rotation. I do think that for the side of the Riptide, they need to change things up a little bit. They kind of just pick a location, go, reveal a lot of information out to the Surge, and they do not try to switch it up. I feel like the strategy needs to be changed, either play slow and play for picks, or, you know, just wait for the side of the Surge to get a little bit too greedy in waiting for people to show up in their LOS and move forward so that the side of Riptides can get an advantage. As I say that, unfortunately, Dotbot did push up and take out Pog, so now it is a 5v4.
Yeah, Pog got really aggressive there, kind of pushed up into sight more than I would have thought was wise, and unfortunately he got lit up pretty well and got down to 4 health, was one shot, and there's Vapor once again, just the timely peaks, and you've got the info. There's at least 2 more there. See if they find the Sage. The Tailwind doesn't come through though. That's brutal.
They did get locked on that wall to their left. The map geometry is not always your friend. Sage is peeking now to see if they can get a pick onto that Jet, and they do manage to do just that.
Yeah, you see the Sheriffs coming out there, the little mini snipers, I like to say there, just not really working out for the side of the Riptide, and Dotbot's on 3 right now. You see that Vandal's working well. New Kid is just kind of by themselves with the Sheriff and unable to do anything as Dotbot was ready for the peak.
That's always a hard situation to be in when you're the support player there, and at least in my opinion, it's like I can heal, I can res, but I'm not in a good spot to do either of those.
Yeah, and as we kind of get towards this half, it's going to be interesting to see just how much switching to defense for Riptide is. Is 3 rounds enough to get them into a place where they can flip the tide of this map? You know, it's a terrible pun once again. Flip the tide of the map into these into an offensive or into a defensive win, excuse me.
So for the side of the Riptides, they changed things up a little bit. We actually have Sage with that spike, which at least from what I've seen is a smarter way to go. You're not the initiator or the duelist, and so having the spike for that person is a little bit smarter because you're not likely to be taken out early game because you're not looking for picks in any way. You're more there, of course, you know, as a support, so being a little bit less egotistical helps you stay alive a little bit longer and may provide your team with the ability to actually get that plant off. As we do see, Sova is able to take out Pog, but then we have Killjoy take out Sova, and Sage follow that up with the res on the Reyna.
Yeah, you got to get that res off, and unfortunately Reyna goes down again, so we don't see that Empress coming out from Reyna. It's down to this 2v3, 2v2 now, and Surge does have their Killjoy again online, so it's going to be 1 ult versus none. Surge is defending, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can use that in such a way that they can stop the plant going off.
We've seen the spike come out, followed by, the spike got planted, the flash came out from the Phoenix. Now Omen does have their smokes out to try and give them a little bit more of a positional advantage. It's a 2v1. They're looking for that redemption from the last time. Unfortunately, Phoenix will find that shot out on Dread, and there's enough time to get the defuse.
Yeah, and that's what feels bad. You know, it's one of those situations where you know where one is, you kind of have an idea the other one is. Can you peek and find one and snap again? And unfortunately, the timing was just not in their favor.
Switching sides.
So if you're the Riptides right now and you were looking to slow this down, get those round victories back, what do you think you need to be doing right now?
Start with winning this pistol. You need to win this pistol. You don't want to go down 10-3. Get yourself in a situation where you win this first pistol round, get some of that confidence flowing once again. Get yourself to a point where your econ is good. You don't want to get stuck in kind of a bad econ spot like they were a lot of the time last round or last half. You saw them with the pistols come out quite a bit. They were running classics versus, or not classics, but shares versus, you know, some of those big boy rifles, and that's not a situation you ever want to be in.
That goes there.
We do see that if you're, for this team of the Surge, looking at that mini-map, they're spread out like they have been in multiple instances, trying to get more information about where the side of the Riptide is defending and possibly, you know, get some early picks because people will not be in the most advantageous positioning right out the gate. Hopefully that will work out in their favor. And then, you know, I think that strategy, if you are the side of the Surge, is to play slow and play for picks and possibly not even try to get the plants off.
Yeah, no reason to be super crazy here. I mean, you do have a nice little lead that you can play with. You don't have to go nuts. You see, here's the rotation. It was pretty quick rotation. As soon as they got info that they knew that there was a big stack over there on the other side, they just decided to rotate this around. And Pog's just kind of sitting here under this little catwalk area here, just waiting to see if he can get some sound cues. And I don't think they got the information that they wanted because this is a full wrap over towards B site, and Pog's just kind of sitting here mid-map still.
We do see that there's the wall out right there from Sage. The ability orb is going to be collected by Dotbot, and I do believe Dot's now going to rotate to try and see if they can get a possible flank position here on around the Riptides. They do see Reyna right there. Unfortunately, Reyna's crosshair positioning was just a little bit better, but the follow-up from Vapor will take down the Reyna as they were trying to use that ability right there. Overheal, you gotta kill it sometimes if there's two people right in front of you.
And I'll tell you what, Pog's positioning, the long game played off there, sitting mid-map. Here comes the plant in, not quite default, but pretty close. The plant's gonna go down from the side of Surge, and now they just have to just kind of hold off this push from Riptide, but that's a big entry, excuse me, from Spicy.
Yeah, V Spicy is a really well-rounded player on the for a Sentinel character for their team. They gain a lot of information, and they do get some great picks at great times. There's a second pick coming out from them. Unfortunately, the alarm bot's been triggered, but they should be okay right now. It is a 2v1 though, so, and as I say that, Cozy does pick up V Spicy, so well done, V Spicy, but Cozy has been a fragger consistently for their team. Yeah, and the alarm bot gave the cues there, just knowing exactly where they were, and now we see the Ares coming out from Cortana. The base LMG there, see if they can find some damage with it early, and try and see if they can just use that to kind of just push down the throats here. I think this is going to be a nice aggressive play from Surge. Your Halo play has just shown its head, by the way. I have never in my entire life played Halo ever. And you called Contra Cortana? I think I'm partially dyslexic. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. It's all good. I read it that way too at the beginning. We've got I'm New get a couple of early sights out on people trying to rotate towards B. We do see the smoke come out immediately from Jet and the Astra smoke as well. So they're using a lot of their abilities to try and push in here on B. Basically guarantee that that's where it's going to go. We've got Pog and Colax taking out 2 members, and now it is a 2v3 for the side of the Surge. And you see here, there's Sova with that Ares just kind of waiting to see if anyone wants to push into this site. They don't have the spike, but they kind of have an idea of where the pushes are going to be. They know where people are just from those callouts from those teammates. There's the smoke coming out from that Omen. Who's going to see anyone first? They're all just kind of pushing on the edge of this smoke. This is unfortunate for Contra. Can they push out and find anything? Because this smoke's not going to stay forever. Oh my goodness. What just happened? That was the timings were insane there. They ran into each other. We did see them kind of poke out of that smoke, get a sight on the Sova, shoot Sova first, but unfortunately, there was someone right behind them. That is brutal. That's like a scene out of a horror movie almost. Kind of. Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it looked like. That's a great description of that.
This is a nice spot. This goes here.
You see those tripwires coming out and the Cypher cage here just holding down this this site over here, making sure no one's going to get in without you knowing. As soon as that tripwire goes off, you can always activate that Cypher cage just so no one is able to get in or out of that cage without you hearing, and you have an exact location for them. And we do see a lot of abilities being expended here. I guess, you know, they picked the location of the fight and they're going to dump everything they possibly have into it for both sides right now. But it looks like there's still that Cypher over there on A site, so this is a little bit of an advantage for Surge. You see the aggressive knives coming out. Cozy gonna find a couple there. The Sheriff does work on Dread. Oof. Good shot. Oh my goodness, the classic shots are on point for I'm New. To get the Ares up as well, and the Molly's gonna go, or excuse me, the Hot Hands are gonna go up on that side, and you get a little bit of a healing boost there. That's interesting. That's a new angle I haven't seen before. Trying to use the sound trigger to get some people to peek on them early. Now that's just, we do see the plant happening. They've got enough time. The wall bangs are starting to come out, but they aren't going to find the Phoenix's head. Now Phoenix is just kind of sit and wait. Yeah, and this is going to be a play where they peek back sight probably, and so yeah, you see the traditional angles that they think they're going to be at, but I'm New aggressive, just can't quite find the shots. That's another big round win for Riptide. They're starting to work themselves back into this game. All right, 5v10. Well, sorry, 10 to 5. They can bring this back. They just got to be careful. Oh, they're doing a good job of playing these defenses well. They're playing. It seems like they're really playing for that retake, honestly. And I love that. Personally, I love seeing teams that play retake. I know it might not necessarily be the smartest thing, but it makes games so much more interesting, in my opinion, when teams are willing to play for those retakes. Well, if you look at it from the
position of trying to garner as much information as possible. When you play with the retake, you guarantee you know the location of at least one person.
Yeah, that's true.
And so if you've got a pick before the plant happens on the for the defender side, and then you know where the plant occurs, you can guarantee there's one person there. Most likely there's going to be 2, if not 3, and that can help your team garner more information as to what they need to be doing, especially if you're playing slow and playing for that retake.
Yeah, and there you go. That is the mark of a good Sova, knowing those angles on where to shoot those arrows to get some information. I'm new with a big find there. Tried to snap and get a second. There was nothing there.
Unfortunately, V-Spicy will be taken out by Contra there, and we are now down to a 3v2 for the side of the Surge. They are up 1. The plant is going off by Cozy right now. Reyna has their ultimate, however, so we may see a retake coming out with the help of the Empress.
Yeah, I love this. We didn't get to see Empress last time. The Lear's going to come out. They're getting that information that they need. The wallbang shots can't come through. They're going to have to run away because this Killjoy's up. That's a great play there from the side of Surge. Cozy just getting that Killjoy off so they can't push into the site, and it really just kind of nullifies Empress.
I mean, a trade for a trade, sometimes you can't complain about that. We do see the alarm bot goes down. There goes the flash, so Phoenix is going to pick up Pog. It is now a 3v1 with just Sage remaining. Sage, you might be able to get, you know, an exit frag.
Maybe. It looks like Sage is just going to kind of rotate
Run
away
and save.
here. Yeah.
Yep, play for the save.
Yeah, no need to just throw away your econ there when you're already in a situation where you don't want to have to deal with any econ issues because they're getting down to crunch time here. You need to make sure you have eco all the time.
Yeah, so if you're on the side of the Surge, you are at match point right now. So it is kind of just get the plant off or play slow, get the picks. Don't even bother with the plant. If you're on the side of the Riptides, you gotta play for either, you know, getting those picks or get the retake. You cannot lose this round, otherwise that is it. Lights go out, and that is the end of the map because this is a best of 1. So this is kind of everyone's last-ditch effort to frag out.
It's gonna be, I think it's actually only at 11, so I think they have 2 rounds left. They have 1 round to play with here, but yeah, I think if you go down 12-5, you are kind of, you know, it basically is game over for you, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play this. If they want to get aggressive or if they just stay slow. You do see 2 ults online there, a Killjoy and a Cypher, so that Neuro Theft and that Containment could both be critical here for the side of Riptides, but that is not how you want to start, seeing when those ults go offline.
Yes, unfortunately, V-Spicy will go down early. Pog themselves will be taken out by Dotbot, and then Dread will manage to find Vapor very early as well. Unfortunately, Dread will go down then to Cozy, so it's a 3v2. This is going to be difficult if you are on the side of the Riptides.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they try and play that Killjoy, and just as I say that, no such luck. So it's a 3v1. It's I'm New and the boys versus Sage. Is there going to be anything left in the tank for Sage here? Or are they just going to kind of play this smart? Sage AFK?
Sage appeared as though they were AFK, unfortunately, or they were, you know, trying to just chill out by the spawn and wait for the round to end. And by not moving, you kind of gave away where you were.
I'm curious to see if Sage is AFK. That would be super unfortunate. We've seen that happen a little bit, and by the way, nobody's moving. And you see, yep, it is paused there. So it looks like there was an issue there. Sage must have been AFK. There must have been a technological issue because the round is paused. Looks like the timeout starting. Okay, interesting. This isn't something that we see too often here.
I personally have never seen this.
Yeah, it's you know, you get that sometimes in the competitive Valorant, you know, where you get those technological difficulties and whatnot, and must have unfortunately had something like that happen with the Sage, but that's tough, you know. You're already down a little bit there. You're already on match point, and then someone goes AFK. That's tough.
Maybe their mom needed them to do some laundry.
Oh, that feels bad.
It's happened before in my Overwatch games. I've definitely heard someone get yelled at to do something, and then all of a sudden they just DC'd.
Mom, I can't pause the game. It's online. You don't get to pause these things.
It takes time. Some parents learn that you can't do it, some do. My parents definitely learned very early on. You can't pause a live game when you're playing online, and they'd be like, oh, are you in the middle of something? Okay, just come out when you're done. And they would run away. It was very nice. I had understanding parents.
You know, we do like summer camps for high school gamers and stuff here at Boise State. I think we need to do one for the parents as well.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Have a parents' day. A parents' day of learning. looks like maybe we're having some more technological issues here.
I believe you are right, unfortunately. That just happens. Technology, you know, in the words of Wolof, is both our savior and our doom. It doesn't always work as you intend it to. Things can go wrong.
Yeah, and it looks like it's still on the side of New Lowell here. Unfortunately, still AFK, it looks like. My best guess is there's probably just an internet issue or something like that, you know. Maybe a lag out. It's kind of a tough one.
Lag out, rage quit. I'm totally kidding. I totally understand that there can be technological problems that can appear as though they came in at the perfect time for you to want to rage quit something, but that happens. It does look as though we've got New LOL is back in the game, so their internet connection problem has been solved, and now we will proceed with this round as usual. The clock has already started ticking. And we do see on the side of the Riptides, they've got 3 ultimates. The side of the Surge has 2. I'm interested to see if these come out all at once if you're on the side of the Riptides, because they are, you know, at match point.
You see Surge here, they're getting really aggressive here over onto the site. They did find that early pick. They did take out Killjoy, so see if anything wants to come out there from the Cypher or from the Omen, and it's down to a 5v2 already, and it looks like Astra's ult may have been popped there as well. Yeah, it looks like it has.
We did see the drone come out to reveal the location of Dread. Contra then used that to their advantage and just immediately went in and took them out. It is a 5v2, a 5v1 as Dotbot finds that Sage, and with the Flawless, the plant doesn't even need to happen.
Yeah, that was a really well-played round there. Using that Astra ult as well there. We don't get to see Astra as much as I'd like to, so it's kind of fun to see that.
You know, as we mentioned, new rosters, well, different roster change-ups might allow us to see different operators coming out from both these sides, and so maybe that won't be the last time we get to see Astra.
Fingers crossed, because Astra is a really, just a beautiful character. Like, their ult abilities are just really cool to look at.
Well, Riley, you know that going in it alone can only take you so far. Ultimately, you want to increase your chances of success, and you want to level up your team skills and your personal gaming skills. We just saw that in the last play from the Esports tower player, Vapor in particular. They definitely fragged out a bunch, and you can see how talented they are in playing. In their 3rd Rumble this week, Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. I'd like to do a shout out to all of the coaches, and if you are one of those people watching that haven't checked out Esports Tower Club just yet, you definitely should. It's the fast track to rank up.
Yeah, and you do see these people just be able to do a lot of really cool things and play with different people and just get really good at this game. I mean, you see how talented these people are. Like I said, Silver and Gold doesn't really do these players justice, because these are really talented players that are doing really impressive things.
I mean, if you definitely remember to our interview that we had a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately just people throwing games based off of hearing your voice and you attempting to make callouts immediately can just tilt someone. It's just how it is. And so I definitely agree. Rank does not mean everything, especially in a game like Valorant. That was our first match, and as we mentioned, it is a best-of-1 map, so we'll be moving into our next round. However, it will take place right after this break, so don't you go anywhere, and be sure to join us here once again in a couple of minutes.
BFC is launching the greatest events of the summer so gamers know that they are never alone. Brought to you by Antares Gaming and Never Alone Gaming, gaming teams that build a better future for mental health. And Esports Tower, paving the way for education in esports for the youth. We want the community to know that we stand together and we are united in spreading mental health awareness. We are also proud to announce that we are expanded into new games. This summer, gaming events are back.
Come on! That's insane! Oh my god! No, no, no! Oh my goodness!
BFC is launching the greatest events of the summer so gamers know that they are never alone. Brought to you by Antares Gaming and Never Alone Gaming, gaming teams that build a better future for mental health. And Esports Tower, paving the way for education in esports for the youth. We want the community to know that we stand together and we are united in spreading mental health awareness. We are also proud to announce that we are expanded into new games. This summer, gaming events are back.
Come on! That's insane! Oh my god! No, no, no! Oh my goodness!
Tried to keep it in play. Kyle!
It's over! Yodi gets it! Rich is your winner! He goes down 1 HP! Oh no!
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to this week's Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. We are taking a look at this week's group stage games. That will lead into the grand finals next week on Wednesday right here at the Boise State Esports Game Pants Arena. Once again, I am your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me is Riley Nappy Boyd. How do you feel about that last game that we just watched?
I thought that we saw some really impressive strategies and just kind of team pushes coming through. We got to kind of see just the difference on how pacing can really affect these games, and how a theme that we've talked about a lot in these Rumbles just continue to progress. Teams that push together win together, and that's really what this is. When we saw groups go through and push sites or push through mid or rotate, however you want to say it, anytime that they work together, they ended up winning a lot of gunfights and usually winning the round.
I foresee that possibly becoming a sticker. Those who push together win together, or something in that regard. Will probably end up on a sticker much like our Doc Sweep the Leg sticker that we recently just got. One of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in my entire life, personally. Well, before we go into our next game, we will be bringing you Doc's keys to the game. They are presented to you by the Esports Tower. .com. Score pro advice and at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Doc's keys in Valorant are callouts are critical. Watch those corners, call out ability usage, and track enemy econ.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of those things coming through. You know, we saw the communications continue to be critical, and we saw the econ kind of take it, be important in that last one. We didn't talk about it as much, but we saw that I believe Surge had to end up using a lot of the sheriffs when they were playing against those big-time rifles. So the econ really did play a factor in that last map, and I think it will probably continue. Anytime you see those big disparities in score is when econ starts to get a little shaky.
Our next match that we're going into, we'll be seeing two fresh teams, at least within regards to this week. It'll be Team Meteors versus Team Lightning. And we are hoping to see some Group B action now. This is going to be taking place on Icebox, and it's going to be, once again, a best of one.
I'm not. Icebox frustrates me.
It seems to frustrate a lot of people. What bugs people about Icebox?
I think that it's new. I really think that it's just because it's new, and everything else came out at the beginning of the game, and this is new.
Well, then everyone's in for it once Breeze comes into rotation. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and Icebox, there's a lot of different mechanics to Icebox. A lot more ropes plays in Icebox can kind of go off, and just the way that the map's built, I don't think it's bad. It's just different, and it just takes time to learn it. And I think eventually it's one that will just kind of, I think people will stop being frustrated with it, but having to check so many different levels so consistently all around the map is what ends up getting me personally killed all the time.
I actually really enjoy Icebox, especially if I get to start out on the offensive side. I always like to push site A for some reason. I don't know why. It's just, it's a safe place for me to go for some reason. I get some easy, slow orbs thrown out on that one. I can get a nice plant position for my team and set up a wall to make sure people can't get easy sites onto us. Speaking of, learning setups for this map, because as you mentioned, it's pretty new. For the Team Meteors, they've actually been working through their rules specifically on this map to learn proper setups and to make sure that they have good rotations ready for this one. So hopefully that comes in handy for them on this map in particular.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they use a lot of this map. I think they'll be able to kind of take advantage of. You've got Jet and Raze, who both can get vertical really quickly on this map, just with the packs and the updrafts. I think that's going to be a huge part of how they play this map.
And it does look like, as I mentioned, going straight to Site A. Unfortunately, Rice Balls on that Reyna will be taken out rather quickly. Milky will end up taking out the Omen, and then Reyna will end up taking out Milky. So now it's a 4v3. Team Lightning is down 1, as we do see Dark is managing to get that plant off, as Sova finds the Jet.
That's a great play there from the Rays there, just kind of being smart, waiting for the push, and they found the Elim there. And Frosty, you see this Viper, kind of a... within the last couple of weeks to the last month is when we've really started to see Viper become really, really competitive viable, and it makes it a whole different thing. The fake defuse there just didn't quite come off there, as Pink was just ready to go. They knew that the defuse wasn't actually fake. They were able to just hop right on it, and find the Elim.
Team Lightning actually has been working specifically over the course of the past week a lot on doing a retake of bond sites and have been looking to fix the issues that they've had in the past in regards to trying to do the retakes as opposed to, you know, just trying to prevent the plant from happening from the start. And so we did definitely see that strategy start to come into play right there with the fake out on the defuse. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite a long enough fake out for it to work in their favor.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of you either commit to it or you don't, and they wanted to commit to it, and unfortunately it just didn't quite work out for them.
Going into this next one, I wonder if they are looking, it looks like they're going to rotate towards point A, but they're going to take the long way for the plant this time?
Yeah, just kind of mess with the timings. I think that's probably a good decision. You know, you don't want to just, you know, be hitting the same angles at the exact same time, and you see Lightning's just kind of waiting to see if they're actually going to do this. You see the drone coming in from Sova, and they're about to get some information there. I think they probably got the sound cue, so everyone knows now they're still there. There's the arrow coming out, just kind of helping find more information. That's going to be critical, and you see Milky's with the opening Elim there.
Now it is a 4v2. The team of the Meteors is down. Oh, never mind. Meteor is down to just their Astra remaining. We've got 3 up for the team of Lightning. Unfortunately, Sage does go down to Astra right there, so we've got a 2v1. However, Killjoy is, Raze is very low on health, so this may be an easy even out if you're on Astra and can find Raze very quickly. Crimson's right over there. The spike is right in front of Pink Boy, but there's multiple players looking down those sight lines, so they've got to be careful.
And the thing is here, Pink Boy's got to know that as soon as he puts those first shots off, everyone's going to know where he is. The drop down from the shift walk, they had the angle, they got the surprise, they found the first one. He's weak. It's going to be a 1v1, and they're both super weak here. Who peeks?
Oh, the clutch!
What a play! Pink Boy Blue doing work.
And they're going to pick up a nice gun skin. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I guess the glitch pop on the Vandal there. Super cool gun skin. It's a classic. Super classic. Love it. I still love this knife. I love all of the knife designs in Valorant are just so cool. They've done such a good job with that.
All right. So right now for the team Meteor, they're up 2. What do you think their strategy going into this next round is going to be? They've been very successful with what they've done thus far. Do you think they're going to change things up?
I don't think so. It's going to be interesting, though, now that both teams are on a good eco. You know, everyone's got rifles. Everyone's got what they want. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And there's the opening pick from Meteors. That's going to be really important, I think. The opening pick on this map just continues to be critical.
And we do see that the Omen's managing to pick up Milky, who got multiple picks in that last round. Jet will end up picking up Sova, and then Astra will pick up Raze. So with that, that's a flawless round for Team Meteors.
That went fast, and now Lightning's got to be careful, because you start going down 3-4 rounds, that's when eco starts to get a little bit sketchy. So if you are Lightning, you cannot afford to drop this round again, because your eco is going to start going down the toilet if you're not careful.
So what you're saying is maybe this should be a save round if you're on Team Lightning?
It's tough, because you probably don't have a ton of credits. You don't want to force buy it, but at the same time, you're going to be put in a spot where, and you see, yeah, Lightning does just have a classic out here from Milky's, and it is a bit of a save round, but at the same time, if you don't win this round, you're going to be in some trouble, you know, either way. So they need to find a win here, and I think it's going to come down to Crimson here. They do have one of the rifles still, so they're going to have to find a couple of elims.
Oh, Crimson was in a fantastic spot, waited for people to rotate past him to find those early picks, and then Sova managed to pick up Jet just right after that. Unfortunately, Riceball will go down to the Omen, and then 2 more picks will come out for Team Lightning. So it is, once again, just Astra remaining. Astra did find Coconut. I don't think Coconut rotated too much out of their position from the start, so they kind of had a giveaway as to where they were standing. But being 3v1 and Pink Boy does get taken out by Milky. Well, sorry, Pink Boy will pick up Milky, so now it's a 2v1. I'm very interested to see if Pink Boy will be able to come out on top on this one.
Yeah, Pink Boy has really shown their ability to just do some work in these kind of tough situations. It's been kind of an early game MVP already for Meteors. They continue to use those abilities from Astra, just, you know, trying to gain more information, activate those smokes across the map, and see what they can find. And these shift walks across, they see the Viper smoke there, kind of, kind of hold that angle off so they only have one way. They got some information, but now they shot. They know where the other people are, and unfortunately the double team comes through there, and there's Sova with the elim.
Well, that does bring Team Lightning up to 1, so that the score is that score gap is going to slowly start closing, hopefully for Team Lightning in their favor. But there is now 3 ultimates ready to go for the side of Meteors. Only 2 ready on Team Lightning. I am interested to see if any of these get popped very early so they can just make an aggressive quick push and either do a quick sweep and get the elims and not even worry about the plant, or just use them to make space and get that plant.
Yeah, and especially on the side of Meteors with that Jet ult, I personally feel like it's super OP on this map just because of the verticality that you can get. You can just start flying with those knives, and it's really tough to counter on this map. And you see the Astral wall is going to go up here from the side of Meteors, so we see that come off early. That's Pink Boy's ult there. That's big, but unfortunately gets taken down. That's a huge win for Lightning.
Yeah, for Team Meteors, they decided to take a different rotation instead of pushing on A. They decided to go to B, which, as you mentioned earlier, A is typically a good spot to go, especially if you got that Jet and you've got the Rays. They have a lot of ability to take advantage of that high ground. The mobility that's available inside that small enclosed space is very high. However, they wanted to change it up, and the change up unfortunately didn't work in their favor.
No, and those were just big gunfight wins all across the board. I mean, you did see that Astra ult get popped, but Astra going down early, that's Pink Boy, who's been really taking care of business for this team so far. Yeah, that was an important round win for Lightning, I think. That's a momentum round, in my opinion.
It looks like for Team Meteors, they're taking a slightly different strategy. We do have Jet popping their ultimate. It looks like they are set on going towards B. No, they're going for a rotation flank here, and they, unfortunately, that crosshair placement just was not in their favor. For Team Lightning is now only down 1, whereas Team Meteors is currently down 3, as I'm about to say down 2.
Yeah, and here you go. Once again, another big gunfight win, and Lightning are just starting to find their form. I mean, those were great shots. You know, Jet kind of jumping out of kitchen there. Those were great shots to take him out of the air, and then Rice Balls with the final. Yeah, this Lightning team seems to have, it took them a couple rounds to get going, but yeah, they're starting to get nasty.
Well, Team Lightning in particular has been working really hard with practicing with their coaching staff for the last couple of weeks and have put a lot of time into improving as a team together. And in particular, Milky has been apparently the most improved and definitely have been able to see that with the early frags and early kills that they've been able to get. And they've been working very closely with the coaching staff individually. So they've been dedicating a lot of time to their improvement.
Yeah, and it's showing. I mean, they're doing a great job. You see Crimson there at 9-4 having a huge opening, and that's going to be critical. You got to keep those kind of pop-off maps because Meteor is a good team. You just got to have players that pop off big, and you see that Lear is going to be the entry there. Rice Balls is going to get the Lear off to try and push into this site, and Milky's, though, you know, finding that wall bang to kind of get things started once again.
We did see Reyna enter the smoke to try and take out the Sova. They managed to do just that, but Milky will follow it up and take out Reyna right there. Just, you know, you take a risk when you reveal your location to kill someone.
Yeah, and there's the res coming off from Milky. He's already had that ult ready to go, so it's a 4v2 now. As you see, there's Astra gonna fall. TGE was ready to roll, but Frosty's with the trades as well. It's a 2v1. Viper does have their ult if they want to pop it and really kind of limit site potential, but don't need it. Frosty with the good shots.
And we do see the defuse is happening. I don't think they're going to split the defuse because Frosty does have their ultimate, so there's really no need unless they're going for extra econ there. And now our score is 4-3. That gap, as I mentioned, closing out. This is a very even game. That fantastic res that came out from the Sage right there. Frosty then taking out Pink Boy, and then Sova right after that. It was just kind of lots of back and forth happening. I do feel like most of the action is going to continue to take place over side A.
Yeah, I think so as well. That's kind of the common theme there. You know, it's really easy to kind of defend, but if you can find an opening pick, then it's really easy to break into just because of those vertical angles. And that just seems to be a very common theme, like you said. And I think Lightning, you know, after that 5th round when they killed the Astra after Pink Boy did pop their ult, that just seems to have completely changed the complexity of this game.
We do see, I'm going to eat my own words, the rotations coming out for B. Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on which side you're on, we have Riceball and Frosty picking up 1 kill each, and then we're going to see another one come out. So it is just Astra remaining for the team side of Meteors with 4 up for Team Lightning. you might need to be going for an exit frag here. I don't know if you're going to be able to do much beyond that.
Well, and unfortunately, the Lear came off on one side, so you weren't able to see anything over there. And they knew exactly where you were, and if you're Pink Boy Blue, that's just kind of what feels bad, man. With that super fun spray there that makes that awesome air horn sound.
We do see, we got a little bit of a peek at the Econ team. Lightning is definitely up a bit more with their credits right now. Meteors is going to still, it looks like most of them are doing full buys, not trying to do an entire save round here. So they're definitely looking to get an easy push and a plant off on this one. Otherwise, next round, it may be a little bit difficult for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they continue to invest in here because they have lost 5 straight. That's not a good way to start things off. You know, losing that many in a row, your econs can start to get a little bit messed up. And there's another pick early from Rice Balls. There's 3 down. Holy crap. Lightning's just flying.
And it is once again just Astra remaining. They are, before we even fully started that round, we could tell that they are rotating towards that site B. Maybe it's just time to give up the ghost on that one and go towards A. A was their most successful push by far in the beginning of the rounds. And, you know, I know it's kind of predictable, but just maybe bring it back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're probably right there. Just, they tried to force something new. It's not really working. Bring it back to something that you're comfortable with here if you're Meteors.
And as we mentioned, you have operators that take advantage of that space inside point A. So just go for it. It worked for you. Don't fix it if it ain't broken, you know?
Yeah, I think you're dead on there. We haven't seen the likes of the packs come out for Meteors on the side of Raze, and I think that's one thing that is going to be critical here. We've seen Jet use some use that tailwind in the updraft, but I think Raze needs to start using those packs to get vertical as well and start, you know, taking some of those acrobatic gunfights.
And we do see a pick come out onto the stage. However, Reyna is going to pick up the other Reyna immediately. For the side of the Meteors, they only have 3 standing, whereas Lightning has 4. A one-man differential isn't too huge, but it can play into your advantage if you can keep all your guys alive. As we do see another pick come out from Rice Balls onto the Jet, and then followed up on the Raze. Pink Boy will eventually pick up Rice Balls, however. So 3v1, and unfortunately, Pink Boy will be the last to go down.
Saw Pink Boy once again pulled that ult for Astra there, that wall coming up that does limit a lot of the sentry queues that you can get on this map. Makes things very difficult, but unfortunately it was just kind of the numbers game was not in their favor. And Lightning right now, they're flying on this map, you know, they're really electric right now.
All right, so I mentioned in the last round, if the team from Meteor had lost it, they may need to go into a full econ for this next one and not even, you know, look to buy, possibly go full classic. And as I say that, I do see someone who bought basically everything that dropped them down to 0. I don't know if they did a full buy or if they did a partial. However, they need to win this round if they have people using that much econ, correct?
Yeah, and that's one of those things where you've lost 7 in a row and you're starting to lose full. You have to be able to just kind of take a breath, calm down. That's a big find there from TGE. That was super important. Yeah, you can't be investing too much. And they got the op and got the tailwind off. What a play.
Oh, that is dirty. And we do see Pink Boys getting the plant off. For Team Lightning, they are down 1 in comparison to the Meteors. We've got Jet right now watching that flank, making sure no one's going to come behind them. Very important. The Lears come out from the Reyna. They're trying to do some wallbangs here, and they do eventually find the Omen right there. And now it is a 1v2. Lightning only has their Viper standing.
They're going to try and get this to half, maybe? Nope, they did not get it off. You saw there's Astra doing their thing with their abilities, making sure Spike is not able to just get popped immediately. The bait didn't work. They were trying to get it to half, and that was just a great play. Frosty, once again, trying to bait this out. Let's see if he reads it.
Ooh, unfortunately, Frosty was just a little bit too late on that. Stopping the defuse and just switching back over to their weapons right there, and their crosshair placement was just slightly off. That just comes down to, I guess, you know, experience within the game itself.
Yeah, and you got double pushed as well. You saw TGE actually did decide to pop knives there, got the ult off, found it in the end, and that now if you are TGE, you have to be feeling good. You have your op, you are Jet once again, so you can, that's basically like having 2 separate operators on the map, 2 agents basically, because man, The Jet op combo is nasty, but I think we have an op on the side of Lightning as well.
Crimson Coconut currently, sorry, not Crimson Coconut. The Rays on the other side for Team Lightning does have an operator as well, so there's an op on both sides, and Dark Esper is going to pick up Rice Balls very quickly. So now for Team Meteor, they're up 1. Will they be able to use that to their advantage? We'll have to see, as they now are up 2, but unfortunately UNF Warrior will take out Shalto, and Frosty will then take out the Reyna.
Yeah, and that was Empress popped as well. So Frosty with a big find there, because Reyna is such a almost like an ego player where you just get it going and it just starts happening. And you saw the self-heal going off for Sage there, and there's Crimson with that op finding 1, and the trades come through once again. So TGE comes out on top, and Pink Boy, that was a big kill. Meteors had to do exactly this. They had to win some rounds because they were in a bad way.
And it does look like for Team Meteors right now, they're looking to just defend point A. We've got a couple for Team Lightning right now looking to go towards B, and a couple towards A. We've got Jet peeking just straight down mid right now. They're 90% positive they still have that operator. So, oh wait, no, we've got full pistol round coming out right now.
Yep, that's you get the half going, and you know we've changed over into the second half. Obviously, you have the change of sides, so it is going to be interesting to see if Meteor can kind of keep this momentum going. This has been a map of momentum. Can you win that first pistol? It's going to be critical, but if you don't, it balances it out. You don't see 7-5 very often. You know, usually offense or defense has an advantage. Right now, it's pretty standard, pretty balanced.
Both teams look like they're playing pretty slow right now. We do see Crimson Coconut take out Dark Esper very quickly, and then Redskin's going to take out Crimson Coconut. Frosty will find Jet, just kills back and forth coming out. Now it's a 3v2. Lightning is going to have to either decide to plant. We do see Milky starting to get that plant off. They've got some people looking to defend them, so the spike has now been planted, and it's just a matter of making sure they can stay alive.
Yeah, and it's UNF here, gonna try and peek. Can't find anything. Frosty with that ghost. Gonna find the Elim there, so it's a 1v2, but Viper is pretty weak. Pink Boys showed their ability to, you know, clutch up these rounds in these 1v2, 1v3 situations to see if they can hit the shots, as they're only half health right now.
They're waiting to see if anyone from the side of Lightning is going to be taking those ego peaks, but both of them are very low. I feel like they're probably just going to chill out around the spike. Now Pink Boy's going for that rotation. They got to make sure they don't get given away too quickly. They see the Viper. Unfortunately, the other side of that wall was the Sova, so they took him out.
Yeah, and that play just never really developed the way they wanted to. You saw they went for the jump to use the rope to kind of swing across to get to the other side there, and it just didn't quite work out. They had to end up taking that from from the same level as the other team, which was not their original play. So Lightning, you know, they caught Lightning early. Let's see if they can catch it in a bottle twice now. As they go into the second half, they win that first pistol. That's going to be critical, I think. Momentum, once again, is just so important in this matchup.
We do see again for team, I believe that's Lightning, that they are split up across the map yet again, looking at both Site A and Site B right now. That's very interesting. Sorry, that's Team Meteor. They're split between both sites, and they're trying to go for a pinch-off flank right now onto Team Lightning, as they've got a couple members pushing up from behind, but they're very slow coming in from that backside of the map, so they need to pick up the pace a little bit if they're looking to, you know, use that to their advantage.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Meteor right now, Lightning just won some big gunfights. That was a nice right click, though, from TGE. And they actually found a second before they got picked, so it's down to a 1v3. But yeah, the flank was just, they just couldn't quite hold on for their teammates to get in there and get the pinch.
And we do see Milky's getting that spike planted. And 3v1, this is going to be very difficult. It is, as we mentioned, they're still using pistols. I do not foresee this working out in UNF Warriors' favor. It may be best just to get out and save. They might try to go for an exit frag here. As we look, they are trying to get some information. We see the Lear get expended. They see it. They picked up a gun. There we go. Now they're at a slightly more advantageous positioning here to do something with what they have in their pocket, but there's 3 members there. This is a very risky strategy to be using.
And unfortunately, you've got someone right above you. Let's see if the overhill is going to be enough, and it's not. The Lear play to get the Spectre was nice, but it just didn't quite work out the way that he wanted to because he had a player that was just right behind him.
It's difficult, I have found, for people in this game to remember to look up.
And that's what makes Icebox so good, so difficult to play because you do have to remember to look up.
As we look at Team Lightning right now, it looks as though they're planning to push B, and if you're Team Meteor, that might be unfortunate because you do see them split up like they started out the last round. They've got multiple members on A, but 2 just guarding that left entrance on B. I feel as though they may be taken out very quickly here as we've got all 5 members pushing up on them.
Well, look how quick Meteor starts to rotate. It was within like 2 seconds of this round starting. They got info. The Sova drone went off. They knew that Lightning was pushing that way, and they just started to fly over towards this side as quickly as they can.
Pink Boy did get a pick early on, but Frosty is going to respond and take out Pink Boy. So now it is a 4v3. Crimson is finding that plant out right now. We've got Redskin here on the jet with that operator trying to get some picks, but using those packs to jump out of the way, very nicely done there, and they managed to get out of the LOS of this jet. It's still 3v2. The spike's been planted. They've got to make something happen here. Either take everybody out or get the defuse. I don't know which is going to happen, as we do see 2 members go down for Lightning right there. So it's a 2v1 now. Meteors are looking pretty good.
Yeah, that was a great play. We finally saw the packs coming out from Raze. We've been waiting all game to see those packs get vertical and get those advantages, and it worked out. And that was critical there because you saw Raze get high and find that first elim from an unexpected angle. That was the way to do it because they knew that Jet was going to be in backside there. They expected Jet to be the one to get vertical, but Raze getting up to an unexpected angle was super important there in that round.
As we look here over at Team Lightning, it looks like they're looking for a full push onto A right now. We do see once again for Team Meteor, they are split between both halves of the map, favoring side A yet again. We'll see if that can work out in their favor because the rotation is just going to be different coming out from Lightning. Instead of pushing B, they're going to go A. So they need to be aware of that back flank, as we do have Omen quickly taking out Milky.
Yeah, and there's that opening pick once again now, and the op is on the side of Meteors as well. They've got, I think, probably 2 ops on the map now. As you see, Omen does have one out. The packs coming out, just getting away there, though, from the side of Lightning, and Frosty finding the pick as well. Just the trades going through. Frosty playing so slow with that Spectre. They're just nasty with it.
We do see the plant now coming out. It is just Reyna standing. Actually, that was a fake out plant. UNF Warriors trying to get some information, make sure they're not going to be easily taken out by anyone standing above them. Nicely done. Way to look up. I appreciate you for doing that. But now that we are back at one of those 3v1 situations, and thus far it's not worked out in the favor of the person who's just the last man standing, as Rice Balls takes out UNF Warrior. A little bit of Reyna on Reyna action right there. Nicely done, Rice Balls. And now we are at 10-6 in favor of Team Lightning.
We've got quite a few ops on the map right now as well. I think, what do we have, like 3 on the map at this point, which is crazy. And
I'm not going to lie. I feel like maybe having 2 is enough.
Yeah.
Having 2 people on one team with an operator, I feel like drastically reduces the momentum and pace of your team's ability to move. Granted, yes, it can give you the ability to watch 2 long sites at the same time. But if you are pushing point A, where do you need 2 long sites if you're pushing from one side?
I don't disagree. But it is kind of nice to get, those opening picks can be so important. And that's the judge. Okay. Very interesting.
And we are at a 3v3, and as I say that, another one from the Team Meteors goes down to Crimson Coconut with that operator. So yes, I will knock on people for having multiple ops on one team, but you can always make me eat my words by just dunking on others with the op. Like, I have no qualms with that. Show me what you got with the operator. I suck with it. It's okay. So we do see the drone coming out from Sova is going to reveal where that Astra's at. So they have a lot of information right now. They're up 1 man. They know where at least 1 person is. This is going to be a very difficult situation if you're on the side of Meteor, as Sova takes out UNF Warrior, and down goes Astra to Frosty, and Frosty's now planting that spike to get that extra, couple extra credits.
Yeah, and you get that extra ult point as well. So now you see Lightning have all 5 online. So that makes it really difficult because they can just spread these ults out between the next 2 rounds and win it here, really. If they want to, they can just win these next 2 rounds with, kind of spreading their ults out. I'm excited. We've seen Lightning start to really use these packs, and my favorite thing to see in Valorant is a Raze that uses the packs into that showstopper and makes some crazy plays, and now we get the chance to see it. I think this is like the first time that we've really seen a Raze have that showstopper online, so we could get to see some really fun gameplay here. And you see there's the Hunter's Fury coming out from Sova as well.
Yeah, they had their dart out. They
found one.
Pick up Dark Asper with that one. Pink Boy did find Rice Ball, so we are at a 4v4 right now. 3 members on the side of Meteor and 3 members on the side of Lightning all have their ultimates. I don't think we're going to see Sage use the res out on that Reyna, just because I don't think they died in a good spot. Frosty's going to pick up UNF Warrior very quickly, so now we're at a 3v4. The side of Lightning's looking very good. Milky has decided to drop the spike in favor of getting it over to Raze so they can get that res off. Nicely done with the help of that wall from Team Meteor. It's always unfortunate when that sort of situation occurs, but it tends to happen when you've got something blocking everyone's sight.
Yep, and you saw that ult being invested there. You have to be able to do those things. Frosty's going to try and get the plant off, and it's not going to happen. That was a great wallbang there from TGE, so you're down to a 3v3. Raze is the only one with their ults online, and all of a sudden, this is not the situation that I thought we were going to see Lightning in. They've invested a lot of ults for this round to be where it is now.
It looks like now they've got a little bit less than 30 seconds. They're going to look for some picks here early on. They're trying to, they're doing the fake out plant. No, Milky's going for the full plant. And with a little bit of help from their Sova, they will manage to take out that Omen. It is now a 3v2 with just Jet and Astra standing for the side of Meteors. And with the placement of that spike, it's going to be a little bit difficult for both these two to get in there and either get the defields or even get picks out because of the locations of everybody else. As we do see Crimson Coconut is going to manage to take out Jet very quickly. Pink Boy will follow it up by taking out Crimson Coconut. And with that final player going down to Milky, Pink Boy has gone down. Attackers have won, and now we are at match point.
Yeah, and that was just a really good play there. You know, they got some information from the Sova dart. I think it was just right on the edge, and they kind of knew the general area of where Pink Boy was going to be, and unfortunately it just wasn't quite enough. They knew where he was at, and they were able to just find that pick to finish it off. But I'll be interested to see if they decide to invest now and just kind of finish it off, or if they wait on these 2 ults here, if they try and space it.
Well, we've got matching ultimates on both sides. I'm really hoping that we see Lightning use that Empress to kind of, as I like to put it, be very aggressive and just kind of run in and go ham. For the side of Lightning, they're looking to go towards point B. We do see Crimson Coconut take out one, but then Pink Boy quickly takes out Crimson Coconut. That's an exchange we see happening a lot. Wherever Pink Boy goes, Crimson Coconut kind of looks right at them and vice versa as well. So they just constantly are taking each other out.
Yeah, and you see there's the find there as well. It looks like Empress is online for the side of Lightning. Has been popped, so let's see if that can make any plays, and it's going to be it's down to that 4v3 now. Meteors does have a little bit of an advantage. That's a good trade, and there's the overhill plus the Empress coming out for Rice Balls, so they're just getting cracked. Woo! There's another one. They're flying right now.
Rice Balls, nicely done.
Wow, there you go. That's how you finish it off. Rice Balls with a huge 3 in that round.
That was beautifully done. I can't argue that. The use of that Empress followed up with the 3. That was gorgeous. Team Lightning is our victors for our match 2 in Valorant this evening. As I mentioned, it's a best of 1. However, if you want to see the Grand Championship, our finals are next week on Wednesday right here at Boise State Esports. And if you ever, have wanted to be seen by expert college recruiters, maybe talk directly to some esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. And that club in particular is Esports Tower, where players get insider access to industry insights. With our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice of these ones as well, one in particular being sitting not too far to my right, Dr. Haskell. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Check them out at esportstower.com.
Yeah, that was really impressive. And, oh, yeah, sorry. I was just on Esports Tower actually looking to see how the heck you play Reyna like that, because that was just so impressive. I was hoping maybe they'd have some advice for me, but they told me that I was just so far down on the skill train. It's not even worth
Unfortunately, I think you and I have also aged out of eligibility to be an Esports Tower. We're old people. Maybe they need to make a Esports Tower Silver Club or something like that. Yeah. And I'm not talking like silver as in our rank. I'm talking as in our hair color. Please.
Yeah, if they're doing rank, I'd need an Esports Tower Iron. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't worry, I'm
kidding.
With that in mind, we'll be taking a short break and coming back with our final game of this week's group stage for week 3 of our Valorant Rumble. And we hope that you stick around through this break and come right back so we can all watch the final round of Valorant go down together.
BFC is launching the greatest events of the summer so gamers know that they are never alone. Brought to you by Antares Gaming and Never Alone Gaming, gaming teams that build a better future for mental health. And Esports Tower, paving the way for education in esports for the youth. We want the community to know that we stand together and we are united in spreading mental health awareness. We are also proud to announce that we are expanded into new games. This summer, gaming events are back.
Oh, no, come on! That's insane! Oh my God! No, no, no! Oh my goodness!
Tried to keep it in play. Kyle! Kyle!
It's over! Yodi gets it! Rick is your winner! He goes down 1 HP! Oh no!
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to this broadcast at the Boise State Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Esports Game Pants Arena. We are about to bring you our final group stage match, and don't forget to check out our grand finals. That will be here next week on Wednesday, right here at the Boise State Twitch page. And Riley, I've got a question for you. You mentioned that you didn't like Icebox. What map are you hoping to see us do next?
Hoping for some split. I really enjoy that map. It's probably just because that's the only map that I seem to have any ability to do much on, but personally, yeah, no, it's bad. I struggle with Valorant sometimes. It can be frustrating. But I think I found 30 on split one time, and so I think that's just kind of been a map that I've fallen in love with.
Fair enough. Well, before we hop into our last game, let's take a look back at how we got to this point in particular. 2 groups of 3 playing in the best of 1 group stage. The top 2 teams will advance to the grand finals, which will be next week. It is a best of 3. All teams in this week's event are silver and gold ranked average across the rosters, with Viper in returning from the last Rumble Championship, but is on a new roster this week, as we've mentioned, and they've been someone we've been keeping a close eye on. However, we'll be seeing 2 new teams in our next match, and I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I am as well. It's always fun to see lots of teams go through, and it's kind of fun to see these group stages. This is something that, you talked about. We haven't got a chance to see before. So I'm really enjoying seeing all this. I just want to give a huge shout out. I was just looking through some of those names, and I saw someone on the Monsoons was named Sith, and that's just so cool because I am just the biggest Star Wars nerd of all time. So shout out to Sith because that is an awesome name.
All right, well, you got brownie points from our guy Riley. And speaking of some points, we have some not so much points but keys here. I'm gonna give points to any team that actually does these. We've had the opportunity to hear your comms before, so hopefully you are making call-outs that are critical to understanding where everyone is on the map, watching those corners, calling out those ability usage, and tracking enemy econ. We ourselves are doing our best to track your econ as well. Doc's keys of the game are brought to you by Esports Tower. Of course, score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Yeah, and we have seen all of those keys just seem to continue to show themselves. And who's surprised? I mean, who's surprised that the smartest man in the room's keys to the game usually end up being the thing that is most important to these games? But that has been the case every single map.
Well, for this next map, it's going to be Ascent, and we have Team Monsoon versus Team Lightning once again. Jumping in from our last game of the night, we have both these teams are from Group B. Both teams are teams scored early wins in this group versus the team of Meteors. So this game will be determining which one of them will head to the grand final. So this is a very high stakes game. Let's hope that pressure doesn't play into both these players and get on their nerves here. And we actually, I like to highlight this. Maeve is a female player who goes by she and her. She's currently playing for, I believe, Team Monsoon. This will be our first opportunity to take a look at them, and I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table.
That's awesome. That's something that we just don't have enough of in esports. We need more really talented female players, and so I'm actually really excited about that as well. I mean, we have a great example of it at our caster desk right here, but the more we can get, the better.
Actually, I identify as non-binary. My pronouns are they, them, so
oh, I'm so sorry.
It's totally fine. I really enjoy it when players actually let us know that they are preferring a certain pronoun. So if this ever occurs to anyone who is currently in Esports Tower, let us know so I always can keep an eye on what your pronouns are, and we'll make sure I use the correct ones for you. As we move into this first round here, we do see that we've got Sova and Milky picking up kills right out the gate. So on Team Monsoon, they're, with another one, Riceballs taking out Sova. So they are now down to just 2 players remaining as Riceballs unfortunately goes down. So now Team Lightning has 3.
Yeah, it's going to be so important for Team Monsoons here to try and find a way back in this pistol round. It's all about momentum, and those pistol rounds really do just set the tone for these maps early.
We do have Maeve right now with the spike looking to rotate quietly back over towards A. They took a lot of fire at B, so odds are for the team of Lightning, they are aware that this rotation's coming out. We can see all 3 of them are kind of in position to look at different angles. We've got the Viper looking down main with the Sage still keeping an eye on B, making sure there isn't just going to be a walk back. Well, we've got Sova using that arrow to check out the location on A to see if anyone's there. They aren't quite there yet, but both players for the team of Monsoon are almost in position to get in on that plant on A.
Yeah, and you see those Astra's abilities are coming out here. You see they only have 1 left for the round as they go through that Viper wall. That DK is going to hurt them a little bit. Takes them down to 1 health, but they're able to get through it. No shots come through. It's in this 3v2 still, so this is a long pistol round. You don't see pistol rounds go this long very often.
The longer the round, the better it's going?
I think so.
I think it shows just a great kind of discipline with rotating and making sure you aren't getting in line of sight of people too quickly, as unfortunately Xe Sith will find Milky very quickly. Frosty will take out Sith, and then Maeve will find Frosty. So now we're down to a 1v1. The plan has happened, and with that, the attackers will win the round. That was a nicely done rotation coming out from the Monsoons. Honestly, I didn't think that was going to work in their favor, but they quickly turned around that operator down, like man disadvantage that they had, and still managed to come out on top. Nicely done.
Yeah, and Maeve was doing work, and you see she's just got really good crosshair placement, and this snap onto this 3rd here as well to know exactly where they were and find, I believe, her 4th of the round. That was awesome. That was really impressive. And seeing a Vandal coming out round 2 already, that's just a testament to finding those early kills, and that can really change the direction of a game.
And it does look like for Team Monsoon, they're looking at point A very quickly this time, as opposed to trying to go down B. We do have Frosty got sights out onto that Cypher, so Colby's going to go down rather quickly. So now it's a 5v4, and Karma's going to pick up Frosty, so scores evening out a little bit with regards to manpower. Unfortunately, Shelto will find Maeve, and then Sith will find Shelto, and Crux will find Riceball. So now it's a 2v3. Monsoons are still up 1 operator. They have the spike, so thankfully no one's guarding it. Crux is getting that plant off, and now it's just a matter of sit and wait or try to just frag out and take people out quickly.
Yeah, and you see Milky's there on a nice little flank with that Spectre to bring this down to a 2v2, get it even, and it's going to be interesting to see how these teams continue to use their agent compositions here as you see Milky's gets that wall up, because there is just different compositions, really different compositions between these 2 teams, and that's going to make things very interesting as it goes down to this 2v1. And there's Milky's just finding the big plays.
That was beautifully done, Milky. Unfortunately, they did use a slow orb and miss it a little bit. Too much of a bounce off of that wall happens. But they still managed to come out on top. Using that wall to gain some access into that point was very smart for Milky. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was very impressive. That was very impressive. You know, using that peak angle there, taking advantage of those opportunities that they have, and that did bounce a long ways, but...
It happens. I've miscalculated those so often.
Well, and part of me wonders, was that bait?
It might have been.
That might have just been like a level of IQ play that went so far above all of our heads that that was what they were intending.
Milky, we're going to claim that was completely used as bait.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And I really do hope that you're in the chat saying, yeah, that was totally bait, and just, even if it's not, just roll with it. Take the cred.
Yeah, please do. We're throwing the lob there.
Softballs, it's all right. And so now we've got the Astra with the spike. They have their ultimate ready to go. They're the only person on the board with the ultimate. Milky is going to find Cypher Colby very quickly. So Team Monsoon's already down 1 right now. Team Lightning's up 1 operator. Looking at the gun usage right now on both sides, I do feel like Team Lightning's in a slightly better position right now. But, you know, we've seen that man down for Monsoon still work out in their favor, and they've managed to come out on top. So it's just going to come down to who gets most picks, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? We talked about it last map. They said Milky was most improved over the last couple weeks, and they are really showing it. I mean, they've been incredibly impressive these last couple rounds. I mean, finding those opening picks again this round, they've just really been driving this team.
They're very bold. We do see the rotation coming out to go towards A. They're originally kind of looking down B in the mid to see if they could get anybody. Milky's waiting to put that wall up. Maybe they might. I'm wondering if they're just going to put it as soon as they hear someone, or if they're going to see if they can get someone across the wall and then put it up. Nope, they waited right until they heard somebody going with the safe route. Now they're standing on that, using that wall to get that high ground advantage right there, and they're using the slow orb. So I don't feel like the Monsoons want to rotate here. We do see a couple of them kiting back already. Maeve's taken a significant amount of damage walking through, it looked like, both poison and the slow area. They did get healed up, thankfully, and the defenders have already won.
Yeah, that was an interesting round. There was so much invested over towards that one site. Things just went in a very odd way. They just held long enough to make sure that no one was going to be able to get through, and it was just a really smart play using the clock to make sure that Monsoons weren't able to get in and get the spike down.
All right, so for looking at Team Lightning right now, we do have Milky with their ultimate. I'm not surprised. They got a lot of picks, so now they have the ability to save, bring back a teammate if they go down a man. If they go down a man, score's still very close. We're at 2v1. Granted, yes, this is just the first half, but if it continues to go like this, I really hope we see this drawn out as long as possible. I love seeing long games. It definitely shows that both teams are very equal. And we do see the forced push right onto A rather quickly coming out. Colby's taking that point on the rotation, coming out first. Very risky position to be in. We do see that the Lears come out, already been taken down. Unfortunately, Frosty will find Colby before Colby can take out Frosty, so they're down 1. Maeve is getting the plant off despite the fight that is happening. Sova will find 2, and Sith will find Sova right after that.
Yeah, there was just a lot of stuff that happened in a very quick succession there, and you saw the overheal going to come through, and it's down to this 3v1, and Sith was just kind of put in a bad spot there where they couldn't really do too much about it, and the jump down came through, and the defuse is going to get off, but I want to point out something that happened early in that round. What a fantastic use of the Viper wall into the Lear there. It was put at such a good place that it was almost impossible to get the shots off. They finally did, but it took longer. And so the Lear ended up being even more effective. That was just great teamwork.
We do see we've got a Crimson Coconut just kind of chilling out over here, already deciding that this is where they're going to defend. This is obviously one of the plant spots that's very kind of more common to be used. If you're looking at Team Lightning right now, however, they're kind of spread out a little bit. So interested to see how that works out, considering Team Monsoon is all grouped together right now.
Well, it's kind of, you know what my saying is, you know, teams that push together win together. And let's see if that continues to hold strong, because it has these last 2 games. It'll be interesting to see if that continues to be the theme, but right now it's just a slow developing round.
Cruz used their drone very early there to try and get some positioning of the enemy team very quickly. Maeve managed to take out Milk. So now with that, we've got Team Lightning down 1 operator. Team Monsoon now is probably looking to get that push out. We've got Sova pushing up very far here, looking to see what they can find. The plant's now going to take place. Let's see. Oh, boy.
Hunter's
oh, no.
Theory.
Yeah, that's always rough.
But I think the spike got planted.
It did get planted. They got it off. Hunter Street did not come out quite fast enough as Karma did manage to take out the Reyna, and then Frosty did pick up Maeve. So now we're down to a 3v2. Team Monsoon's really just got to, I think, hunker down and wait. Yeah, just be slow with this. No need to be crazy. As you see, there's the aggressiveness from Lightning. Even though they're on defense, they got to try and be aggressive and find the picks, and they do. That's 3 in the round, 2 for Sova. And we do see a split defuse coming out, I believe, right there to allow everyone to get a little bit of points. That's very nice. Always good to spread the love. Yep, just communication and team plays there, and the good pushes, you know, timing everything. I've been very impressed with both teams' timing. They're doing a really good job of timing how they push and timing when they get aggressive together. So they're actually pushing at the right time. And that's not surprising, though. Both of these teams were able, you said they both beat Meteors, which Meteors was really good in the game we just saw them play. So, you know, both of these teams beating that team tells me that these two teams are just fantastic. These teams in particular have been working really hard on making sure their communication is basically sharp and on point and getting across what they need as quickly as possible and executing everything that they need as an entire team to work together. So it's definitely showing through for both of them right now. Team Lightning, unfortunately, is down 2 already very quickly in this round. The plant has already gone off. We do see the slow orb and the wall coming out from the stage. Sage goes down a lot of health, but Milky still manages to pick up Karma. So Lightning is now down to 2, whereas the Monsoons are up 4, have 4 right now. The res comes out on the Viper. I don't know if that's going to be enough, as we do see Maeve quickly takes out both Milky and Frosty. I'm pretty sure Maeve just got a 4-piece with the Ghost only. That's a flex. Wow. That is just a flex. Gold only, huh? That is impressive. Yeah, as we mentioned, we appreciate knowing your ranks, but to anyone that's watching, we don't agree with the ranks. Holy cow, that was impressive. I mean, that was just straight up just dominance. Maeve is having a huge map, 9 and 3 for her. Looking at the econ right now, it does look like for Team Lightning, they're hurting just a little bit on that econ. They did do full buys, but as did Team Monsoon. We do see Crimson Coconut's going to take out Cruz very quickly. So now Team Monsoon's already down 1. They're looking to rotate away from point B over to point A. They're doing it slowly, though. However, Team Lightning already knows the rotation's going to happen. So now are they going to fake out and switch at mid and go back to B? I think that might be the plan. They are kind of pseudo-rotating towards B, but some are still split here at the mid. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they decide to go, but you probably need to commit here. You don't want to take too long to commit because that just gives teams the chance to get set and make it really hard for you to get in there. So you don't want to wait too long, and you see there's Crimson already finding a pick there, not letting the rotations come through, and Maeve finds a big pick there, but we'll see if it's enough. We are at a 3v3 with just a little bit under 50 seconds remaining. Cypher has the spike. Frosty picks up Maeve, so now we're at a 3v2. The Monsoons are down 1 operator. We'll have to see if they can still make this come out in their favor. They did at the first round. I have faith that they might be able to do it again. However, 2 members of the side of Lightning have their ultimates ready, and we've seen how deadly those ults can be. Yeah, but you see Monsoon here, they wrapped quickly over to the site. They got the flashes in. They're trying to get the wall down. They almost got the spike down, but unfortunately, Kelly couldn't quite get across that door. Yeah, Shelto immediately got both those picks right out as soon as they walked past that walkway. It's always a risky play to not check your corners, but when you're running out of time, you kind of just got to run and gun a little bit, and you don't have time to look everywhere. It's not always in your favor to just kind of go quick. Yeah, flying at people like that just doesn't always work. But at the same time, I love the wrap play, you know? I love being able to get across the map so quickly and read the other team. It just didn't quite work out the way they wanted to. But I mean, it was a really smart play, I think. We do see all members of the Monsoons minus Phoenix have their ultimate ready to go, as opposed to Lightning, where they only have 2 members with their ults up. We do see the Astral Wall coming out, so that ult has been expelled, with Colby unfortunately going down to Shelto rather quickly, and now it is at a 3v5 as Lightning has lost 2 of their members, and it looks as though Cruz is already looking to get this plant off. Never mind, they're going to use their drone, try to get some information out, as we see Sith is getting that plant off. Yeah, and I believe that Monsoons actually use Neural Theft as well, so they have even
more information on where Lightning is. So this is one of those situations where you have an idea of where everyone was kind of at, you know, about 15 seconds ago. They're just waiting to see if they can cut this off at a choke point, and yeah, they did a pretty good job of that. It's down to that 4v1.
Monsoon's just kind of got to wait in camp. Milky, unfortunately, you have fragged out. I do not think you can frag out against a 1v4. And so the attackers will win that round, bringing us to a 5v3. What do you think for Team Monsoon right now is the key to making sure that this score gap doesn't get any larger?
Well, the problem is you've invested 3 ults now. You used 2 last round. We saw Phoenix pop their ult either second or third round pretty early on. So you're not really, you've got 2 left, but you're not going to see too many go online quickly. Whereas on the side of Lightning, you know, you've got Viper ult ready to just kind of hold the site down and make it more difficult to get that plant off. You can defend pretty easily. And that showstopper. So I think if you're Monsoons, you have to find picks on players that have ults online early, I think.
Good advice. I don't know if they'll follow it.
It's kind of hard to do that in the middle of a game, though.
Fair enough. And we do see Colby and Sith both pick up 2 picks, so Crimson Coconut and Shalto are going to go down, and then quickly followed up by Sith picking out Milky. So with that, there's only Viper and Reyna standing, whereas all members of Team Monsoon are alive. And as I say that, Karma finds Rice Balls, so it's just Viper remaining. Viper does have their ult, but I do not foresee that being used this round. And with that being said, Colby finds Frosty.
I guess they kind of inadvertently used my advice. I mean, they really just, instead of doing the strategy where they take out people early, they use the strategy where they buy guns and kill everyone early in the round.
That works.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it.
And we do see right now, it looks like all of Team Monsoon is looking to rotate towards point A rather quickly, whereas Lightning, once again, is going for that kind of spread out, get as much information as you can out the gate type of style. They need to be careful, though. As I've mentioned, if you're spread out, it makes it a lot easier for an entire group of people to mow you down.
Yeah, and, you know, they want to get that info as best they can, like you had mentioned, and you can see the line of sights there on the mini map. You see 2-1-2 is kind of the push there, but the problem is everyone from Monsoons is pushing together. You see this attacker Killjoy is going to go down. The Killjoy themselves actually fall, but the Killjoy containment's still up, and let's see if it contains anyone. I doubt it. 0
players detained on that one. We do see Cruz is now getting that plant off. It is still a 4v4. We've got Sova with that ultimate, so we may see it get used. Milky will get taken out by Karma. So now we're down to a 3v3. It's been a lot of back and forth lately.
Yeah, this has been a really, really fun map to watch, to be honest with you. These teams are so evenly balanced. It's like on knife point here. And here's the Odin coming out there. And I love the Odin. I love the skin for the Odin. It's so fun to play with just because it's so accurate, you know, but they did trade it out for a Vandal.
It looked like a Tron skin, in my opinion.
Ooh, yeah, it kind of does look like a Tron skin, actually. I really like that. Little Hunter's Fury coming out here.
And with that, the attackers will end up winning that one with Maeve and Cruz picking up those last 2 kills.
We don't see Hunter's Fury, like, elims that often, I feel like. And we've seen a couple in this map, or at least today. I really like that. That shows really confidence with when you pop it. They're doing a really good job of using that just to find those elims instead of just getting the info.
Yeah, that was nice. I did not think it would work because it does have a very long cast time. It is very telegraphed where it's occurring. You have the opportunity to get out of the way of it, but sometimes you just can't.
Yeah, and they use it over there on this corner here as well, on this A site, which is kind of hard to get out of, I guess, but still interesting. I guess they must have found a headshot with it, so yeah, good play though.
And we do once again have all the members of Monsoon rotating towards point A, whereas Lightning is all spread out once again. The score is even, 5-5 both sides. Maeve will find Frosty rather quickly, however, so Lightning's already down 1 operator. With me saying that, Sith will pick up Rice Balls, and then Coconut will find Sith, so Colby then finds Coconut. With that in mind, we are now down to a 4v2. Lightning is hurting on the operator man front, but that is okay. They might still be able to hold this one out. The spike has been planted, however, so things are going to have to pick up very quickly.
Yeah, and the mechanics of the doors on this map is not something that we see very often in Valorant, and that makes it so much more interesting. you have to, I mean, as soon as those doors go down, you have to shoot your way through them, and it makes it really hard to be able to break into a site, you know, unseen.
I want to say like just go around them, but I can't really say that.
Well, it just takes so much longer to go around it, you know? It's one of those things where it's really tough. It adds just such a different dynamic to the map.
We do see that Frosty here is going to put up that the wall there on B. And unfortunately for Team Monsoon, they were heavily looking at to go B. I think right here they're already rotating in. They probably do see the wall about right now. As we do see Viper's also going to drop another, it looks like, yes, a poison screen.
I've never seen that placement, but that is
It
really
allows
cool.
you to see people's feet, and I actually prefer to do that with a lot of my smoke abilities because they can't see me, but if I'm crouching down, I can see their feet and I know where they're at.
Right, and that's a really cool placement. Wow, look at the trades. It just lights up. Green, red, green, red, green, red.
And we do see that Killjoy's pushing in right now. They're going for that plant. Sith is not going to be able to get that one off. I believe we do have Sage on the side of Lightning. They have their ultimate ready to go, but all of the bodies are kind of stacked on top of each other. I don't foresee them using their res right now.
Oh, and then they just all peeked each other at the same time, so you're down to a 2v1. It looks like Killjoy may have popped their ult, so there's the hot hands coming out from Karma, just trying to get a heal off, but...
Milky, you may just need to get out and live. We do see the Killjoy, yeah, the Killjoy ult's out, so you're in a very risky situation. Karma's trying to peek. They get the flash off. Sage is going to hopefully stay alive, going for those wallbang shots. Unfortunately, none of them will land. I believe almost none of them landed. They do find Karma. Killjoy's now going to have to decide, do they stay or do they actually move forward? The alarm bot's gone down, and unfortunately, Sith will find Milky before Milky can find Sith.
I was going to sing a song there, but I really don't want our channel to get DMCA'd.
Don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah, Doc just told me I have to sing the song right if I want to get DMCA'd, so maybe we're safe because I'm not a very good singer.
I was about to say, I don't know if he's trying to say that you don't know the lyrics or if you just can't hit the notes.
Probably the latter, if we're being honest.
At least you're honest. That's okay.
My choir days ended in high school about 5-6 years ago.
I never even did choir.
We had a no tryouts choir. That's why I was able to do it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so the round, we have swapped sides. Everyone is stuck on pistol round now. It's 5-7. Team Monsoon has pulled out in the lead by 2 right now. So I'm interested to see if they're going to manage to maintain that lead now that they're on defense, since playstyles do have to adjust greatly when you swap sides. We do see Soba's the one with the spike right now. They have basically dedicated a push here onto A. The Venom screen is up, however, and unfortunately Karma will find Shoto, and then Riceball will find Karma right after that. So now we are down to a 4v4 as we see the spike get planted.
Yeah, lots of stuff getting invested early on there. You see there's a Viper screen and Astra. You saw there was the paint shells coming out from the side of Raze. You see looks like Sova's arrow is going to go out as well, just like that kind of sensor dart. So lots of stuff being invested, and it looks like this is going the way of the Monsoons, down to a 2v1 here. It's just Viper versus the world here, and see if Frosty has the ability to do much with this Frenzy. What a cool skin on the Frenzy, and that machine pistol, if they can find the shots. There's the one. Let's see if they can get the second.
And Maeve did manage to find that defuse as well, so that despite my, wondering if they're going to be able to handle the swap over, Monsoon still manages to take that round in their favor. And so with that in mind, I feel like Team Lightning is going to be stuck doing another pistol round.
Yeah, and this is not a map that you want to be when you are on defense. Lightning put themselves in a tough spot. Losing the round count on the defense side for them is not a good place to be in. Monsoons can just lock it down, with the doors and whatnot. That makes it a little bit, it helps the offense a little bit, attacking, but at the same time, you always want to be ahead when you're on defense first. So this puts Lightning in a tough spot. They're really going to have to do some special stuff here, I think, to win this map.
And you did see that Sith was putting out those mines very quickly, getting set up here on point A. The dedicated push has basically already been guaranteed. Milky's getting that plant out right now as we speak. So Team Monsoon is down 1 op. They have 4 remaining, whereas Lightning has everybody alive, and they just got to chill out and wait now.
Yep. play this smart if you're Lightning, you know. And you see there's Crimson Coconut with a couple of big elims there. Take this down to a 5v2, and Maeve's got that frenzy instead of using the Spectre. Let's see if she can get the trigger placement there. The crosshair placement was perfect.
All right, so now we're down to a 3v1 with just Astra. Maeve is the only one standing right now for Team Monsoon. I feel like this might just be a, unfortunately, they went in. I was going to say that might just be a get out alive type situation, Maeve, but, you know, I can't fault you for that. I definitely try to go for the exit frags.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you're only rocking the Spectre there, you know, you haven't really invested super hard into the round. No point in really trying to save too much there. Just get in there, see if you can boost the eco at all. See if you can find one more, and that's what she did. And she couldn't find the other one, but I think she still should have enough credits to go ahead and buy one of those big-time rifles.
Looking at it right now, it does look like most of Team Monsoon has gone without light armor, so they're not going for full buy on this round, which is interesting, but, you know, it may work in their favor. As we do see Karma pick up 2 and then Crimson pick up Karma. So we're down 2 for the side of Lightning right now. They do still have possession of the spike, thankfully, so they don't have to worry about trying to reclaim that. And it looks like they might be planning a slight rotation, as we do see one member peeking down mid right now.
Yeah, and it looks like both sides are starting to maybe think, yeah, let's see if there's a rotation coming through, try and wrap it around and reposition these gunfights. It'll be interesting. But see, Colby has that camera up over there on the other site, so they've got some information, and there's the paranoia coming out as well. They hear the shots, so Colby's got all the information right now, and the comms are going to be there for the side of the Monsoons.
Do see Maeve trying to get those picks out. Colby will pick up Coconut. Maeve will pick up Frosty, and then Shelto will pick up Maeve. So now it is just Sova standing, and with that, Cruz will pick up Shelto, and Defenders will win.
Yeah, there's Monsoons again, finding another big round win, and, you know, as they just kind of keep creeping it closer and closer, and you see they've got Phoenix online here as well as Astra. I think Phoenix on this map for the Defenders can be really interesting. Obviously, you think of Phoenix as someone that's really good on the attacking side, but I think Phoenix, you can do some pretty cool stuff on this map, you know, just kind of peeking angles with that run it back. So be interested to see how Monsoons decide to invest that here.
Rice Balls is being rather bold right now. They're not even choosing to pick some armors, so the opportunity to get a one-shot headshot kill onto Rice Balls is very high right now, not having even light shields, and they're just going in with the shorty. So they're being very bold.
And that, to me, stinks of saving for an op.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the play here. And that's probably a good play because that can really just change a map when you get those agents with those ops in their hands. And see Colby just playing back site there. The trades come through. Unfortunately, that was not what Colby was hoping for when they played that back like that.
Yes, Rice Balls did pick up Colby rather quickly, and we did get Sage getting that plant off. Cruz is now going to try and see if they can get some information right now with their dart. However, Sage is still chilling out with that res. I don't think Rays went down in a place where they could possibly res them, so with that in mind, I'm pretty sure we're going to see this stay at a 4v4 as Karma manages to take out Shelto. They've got some information as to where everyone's hiding out here back there now, so I wonder how this is going to play out.
Yeah, this is one of those things where backside, you have a pretty good idea where everyone is, and you see there's the Odin coming through, just finding a lot of shots, and it looks like Maeve has an op as well, so the defuse is going to get taken out. Yeah, when everyone kind of gets funneled in the backside there, it's like you're just waiting for him to come out. It reminds me of that scene in Mandalorian of the first season where they're all inside the bar and they just know it's like you have to come out at some point. You're kind of stuck.
Yeah, having all 3 members in the back is just not advantageous positioning. It's the only way I can put it because I feel like you are sitting ducks.
Yeah, it's brutal. Everyone knows exactly where you are, and there's not many places to escape. Or as Sova says, there's nowhere to run.
Oh my.
I love that call out so much.
It's okay. I understand.
I use it in every single game. Like anything that I'm playing, nowhere to run.
We do see the Leer come out right there, followed up by Coconut using their ult and taking out Karma. Sith will find Coconut, however, and Rice Balls will find Sith, so that was a lot of back and forth training. All of Team Lightning is up right now because Sage did use that ultimate. Maeve is going to be using that Operator, finds Crimson Coconut, while Milky finds Maeve. So now for Team Monsoon, they only have 2 players up, whereas Team Lightning has 4. I don't think we'll see any ults be used. Colby's going to pick up Shelto, so that slightly evens it out. It is still a 3v2, however. Colby, you may just need to get out.
Yeah, that's tough. Once again, just trying to find those exit elims, but that was an important round win for Lightning there. I think they needed to win that round. Keep the score close. You didn't want to go down 6-11. That would have been getting into tough territory. So that was an important round win.
So we go into this next one, we do see we've got Sova has their ult for Team Lightning. Reyna does as well. We've got Astra and Scyther for the side of the Monsoons with their ults ready to go as well. I'm wondering if we're going to see any of those get popped. The score is 7-10, so if you're Team Monsoon, 2 more rounds and you're at match point, they may not pop their ults just yet. But if you're on Team Lightning, Reyna may need to pop that ultimate if they're looking to get in here quickly, get that plant off, and keep their and keep, you know, either their numbers equal or get a man advantage.
Yeah, I would love to see a nice Empress play here to get into site early and get aggressive, and you called it right there. Empresses pop.
Yes!
And 2 more come out from Coconut as well. That was a great call there. Great call, Nerdy.
Right now, we do see that it's just Sova standing, and Rice Balls will find them anyway, and with that one, Team Lightning will manage to clutch that round out. Bringing us to 8-10, the score is still very close. I don't want to cast a curse myself or you by asking who do you think is going to win whatsoever. It is too close to call. We're just going to stick with that all the way through until a victor is decided by the game itself. But I'm very happy to see this score being this close.
Yeah, I am as well. And we've just seen 2 really, really important ult plays in the last 2 rounds from Lightning. The Raze, the packs into the Showstopper, and then the early Empress to get aggressive alongside with Crimson doing their thing as well. Yeah, this has really gotten to a really interesting game all of a sudden.
Only just gotten to being an interesting game? Wow, I'm pretty sure the players are hurt by that.
No.
Disregard what Riley is saying. This has been interesting from the start.
It has been, but like it's just gotten even more interesting because now you've got yourself down into this 2-round game. This is the closest game we've seen all day, I believe.
It is very, I don't know, for me, it makes me very happy to see that it is this close because that means that these players are very close in rank to one another. The teams are evenly matched. And as we say that, we do see Colby pick up 2. Rice Balls is going to pick up 2 as well. Frosty will find 1. There is just death after death as we do finally see Viper is going to get that plan off at the end of the round, bringing us to a 9-10 score. It is still anybody's game. Thank goodness we're getting a replay of this bloodbath that just occurred because there was so much happening.
Yeah, and this was such a smart play from Colby here. You'll see as well. Colby hits that camera, gets the information, and just peeks out from under that corner, and it's just kind of a slow jiggle there in between, you know, being able to find a couple of key elims early there. You don't necessarily expect someone to always be there that early in the round. And Colby with the big brain, just with the ghost, just kind of doing some work, saving up, getting ready for the next round.
We do have all of Team Monsoon with their ults online right now if they're looking to try and get that score gap up just a tiny bit. We see Frosty popping their ultimate right now as we speak, so that big Venom Cloud's going to start rising up. The alarm bot has been triggered for Scythe, well, for Sith, so they know people are coming in. As the wall goes down, unfortunately, Frosty will pick up Sith, and then Rice Balls will pick up Colby.
The running shots from Rice Balls, too. Jeez, those were great shots. That was really impressive. 2 good headshots.
Karma's going to pick up 2, but then Frosty's going to pick up Karma. So now it is just Astra standing for Team Monsoon. And the Leer is going to come out. Maeve is looking to pick up the Reyna. They do just that, so Rice Balls has gone down. Frosty's getting the plant off, though, so now Astra's got a decision to make, and that is, do they go in and try and take out one person, possibly both, get the defuse, or do they run?
And that would have been really interesting, too. They almost didn't get that bot shot from the Raze there, and with no armor for Maeve, that would have been huge. But she got it taken care of, and now, you know, just chilling top heaven. This Astro wall is up, so it's kind of an information, you know, stopgate there. They got a little information there, but unfortunately Crimson was able to hit the shots. 10-10. Very nice. This is a tight game.
Yeah, there's no other way to describe it beyond that. And that and heart palpitations. I really don't appreciate that from both these teams. But I totally get it. You want to bring it as close as possible. You want it to be as nerve-wracking as possible for yourselves, and so, for some reason. I get it. I don't know why you're into that, but if you like to live your life on the edge, go for it.
Yeah, just watching my Apple Watch is doing that thing where it's like, your heart rate is too high. Should we call an ambulance? So yeah, this is a great game. We figured it would be with these two teams, you know, atop of their group, battling for a spot in this grand final. So we figured this was going to be a really good game, and it has lived up to the hype.
We've got Shelto using that drone once again to get some information, trying to check out Heaven. You always got to make sure that there's no one out there. Let's be real. Heaven is so irksome. Unfortunately, they did not check the right. They only checked left. So they will not see that there is someone chilling up there in Heaven. Maeve is going to get a double kill, and then Riceball is going to find Colby. So now for Team Lightning, they are down one. And as I say that, Karma is going to pick up Riceball. So Lightning is now down to just 2 operators, whereas Monsoon has 4 up. This is going to be a difficult plant if you are on Team Lightning right now.
Yeah, Sith gets that alarm bot off mid, and now they're just kind of sitting over here in this garden area, just waiting to see if someone wants to push in from sight and rotate this back through mid. They're just trying to get this lockdown as well as they can. Milky's gets that alarm bot shot down with the Odin, so it's kind of like a fake rotate, but then bring this back towards A site, and I think they might have baited Monsoons into it.
Oh, no, yes, we do see that we've got one member rotating all the way towards B.
That might have just been a super IQ play.
That was big brain. They're going to make this push onto A slightly easier for themselves because of how spread out the Monsoons are right now. We do see Crimson Coconuts going to set out that the mine. They're also going to set up their bot. They're looking for that plant. We got the wall banks happening over there to try and make sure no one's just chilling out in Heaven. Defenders have launched their Killjoy though, so after Spike gets planted, they have to just run out. That is always so painful to have to deal with, but it's like, do I get detained? And unfortunately, as I say that, Karma will pick up Milky, so one will be detained by that Killjoy as we see Cruz is managing to get that defuse.
Yeah, and this is all on that was all on, unfortunately, Crimson, and nothing was able to come of that. So that was almost a really smart play, but I think Cruz was just kind of hanging back, a little suspicious, hung out top Heaven, got the info, and got the team to rotate back. Just serious strategy from both teams coming out and just kind of trying to outplay each other and outmaneuver. This is really fun to watch.
Once again, we've got Monsoon choosing to do that spread out, try to get as much information as much information as you possibly can across the map, and then figure out where Team Lightning is going to push. From the looks of it, Lightning's most likely going to go B. But we'll have to see as they do kind of have people peeking around some other angles. We've got some looking at mid, trying to see if they can see where the defenders are right now. We've also got 2 ultimates up for Team Monsoon as well as Team Lightning. We may see those come into play this round because if Team Monsoon comes out on top, they will be at match point.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if Lightning try to be aggressive here. Like, you kind of have to be on offense, or if they just want to play it slow because they're afraid to go down to match point here. So it's all going to be on who runs this tempo, and you see they're playing through mid. Little different than what we've seen this entire map. Going up through mid, see if they can find a pick and spawn, and they have some info there, but Karma's able to find Frosty. That was super important there.
And the flash does come out onto Riceballs right there from the Phoenix. We see the Lear come out as well. Trying to just use that to get away sometimes is very advantageous. And now, for Team Lightning, they are down 1. They still need to get this plant off, or they need to get the picks. It is going to be up to ultimately how they decide to play. As we see Sith take out Riceballs, but Milky's going to take out Sith, and Maeve will find Milky. So now for Team Lightning, they've just got 2 operators standing right now into 4 on Team Monsoon. This is a hard situation to be in.
Yeah, and you wonder if this is the time for Sova to pop ult, and it's the only one left. You know, you don't have a ton of information here. Sova does find 2, though. That's super important. You might see ult come out now to try and clear out a site, or maybe the problem is it just gives your location away. You can track back to where it's coming from. So, oh, and that's the tripwire. So now they know exactly where. They've
got 2 seconds to get this plant started. They got it just in time. They're going to manage to do just that, but they've still got Phoenix coming in after them right now. And Karma will find Shelto before they can manage to get that crosshair placement just right, and Karma's going to get the full defuse.
Yeah, and in this game in Valorant, you know, with it being such a game where headshots can be so important and can just one-shot, Peeker's advantage just kind of goes away just because moving while you're shooting is just, it doesn't help, you know? So
I've learned that the hard way.
Same. It's just interesting because there really isn't peeker's advantage in this game, you know? So it kind of makes things interesting, and unfortunately when you're trying to defend a site, you know, you almost have to play this slow, and they just went a little bit too aggressive.
We are now at match point. If you are on Team Monsoon or rooting for Team Monsoon, we do see that Frosty's got the op, though, so that might turn things around for Team Lightning. It's all going to be up to that, I guess, you know, the crosshair placement and whether or not they can get that early pick. It looks as though we're going for that another like kind of straight push onto one half of the point, followed up by a side push coming in through mid for Team Lightning right now, which worked out in their favor almost last time. Let's see if it works this time.
And the Hunter's Fury pick early opens this round up. That was a big play from Sova. You have a res on the side of Lightning as well, so Cypher going down, losing some of that info early in this map. Lightning have a chance to win this round, but that's a huge shot from Karma.
Karma, that was massive. They tried to get a couple wallbang shots in there too, but they didn't work out in their favor. Sometimes it just be like that. I mean, you are shooting through a solid object to try and pick someone up. We do see Milky get the res out onto Shelto, and then Rice Ball is going to pick up Karma. Sith and Cruz will pick up Rice Ball and Shelto, and then Sith will find Milky. And even though that plant went out, the defuse is already happening. Viper is very low on health right now. Sith is going to finish out that defuse, and with that, the round is done.
That was an incredibly well-played round from the side of Monsoons. You went down to someone early from that Hunter's Fury, and you were able to come back from it.
Nicely done, Team Monsoons. You guys did a fabulous job. Team Lightning, you did as well. We'll be seeing Team Monsoon next week in our grand finals. So do not forget to come back here on Wednesday and check that out.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, if you want to be seen by some college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the Esports Tower Club, where players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice of these rumbles as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Once again, make sure you check them out at esportstower.com.
Yeah, and it provides great opportunities like these rumbles. So that's just another great reason to check these guys out.
We had an exciting group stage this week to determine which two teams will make it into our grand finals. All 6 of this week's teams had strong performances and showed that this is bound to be an exciting Valorant season at Esports Tower. Congratulations to Team Surge and Team Monsoon for making it to the grand finals, and we are so excited to cast those games next week.
Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic finals. Both of these teams that we see, I mean, everyone that we saw this week was really good, but these teams that are in the grand finals are, you know, right now they're on a different level. It's going to be really fun to watch them.
They're goated.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to see a little bit of everybody for once. It wasn't just, you know, the grand finals. We got to watch the entire group stage. We've got to see how everyone kind of, and this is pun intended, operates within the realm to Valorant. And with that in mind, Riley, who do you think is our ICCU player of the match?
It could be a couple of different people. I think Crimson Coconut's probably in with a shout. I thought Maeve played really well when we got to see her play.
I'm rooting for Milky here.
I could see it be Milky as well.
Oh, and it looks like it's actually going to be Maeve. The player of the game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes that a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Maeve is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations, Maeve. Excited to see what you can bring to the table in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think the 4-piece with the ghost probably was the thing that got him there. That was just ridiculous.
We'll be able to see more action coming out from Maeve next week, so that'll be very exciting to see how much they've improved in just a week's time, because after all, they do have a lot of time with their coaches. They get to VOD review and work with their teammates more. So there's always just, you know, the ceiling ever gets raised. The bar is always higher, and I'm looking forward to see what Maeve brings to the table next week.
Yeah, and it's really fun, too, because they play Astra, which is something that we just don't see as much. So being able to have a player that is our player of the game be an agent that we don't see as much just makes this all the cooler, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just happy it's, well, I'm going to be blunt. I'm glad there wasn't a Yoru. I'm not a fan of Yoru in most maps. I'm sorry. I'm biased towards Yoru.
No, it's not a fun one to run.
All right, well, that was our last game for this week's Valorant Rumble. As I mentioned, we will be back here next week with the grand finals, so if you want to see, you know, our cliffhanger round out finally, you should definitely check us out next week. But before we say goodbye to this portion of our broadcast, Riley, what are your biggest takeaways from that match?
You know what? I think that we saw more communication than we've seen in the previous weeks. These teams keep building, and I know I just keep driving that as like my thing that I noticed, but it's true. We just see that more and more, and I loved watching how these teams rotate, and they are starting to go from, okay, gun skill and basic communication to, all right, who can outthink the other team, you know? And we're starting to see these plays where they try and just one-up each other every time, and that makes it really fun. I mean, the rotations and then the counter rotations, but then it's a fake rotation in the first place. That just makes it really enjoyable to watch.
Well, I, for one, am very excited to see what they bring to the table next week. Those last couple of rounds, we definitely noticed some very unique pushes coming out from the team Monsoon. As I mentioned, they're kind of doing split pushes with someone kind of on a pseudo side flank, and it worked strongly in their favor. I hope we can see that get improved by next week and work out even more, and possibly see it being brought out sooner so that they can then throw in a different type of wrench into the gameplay with a different type of rotation. But with that in mind, we'll have to just wait until next week, so we hope we'll be able to see all of you there. And we'll close out this broadcast with the top 5. The top 5 are presented by Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20K and a bonus with your degree of choice being paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team to check out, so make sure you check them out at idahoarmynationalguard.com, and we will see you next week. We might see a back rotation like we did in the first round come out from them once again, but of course only time will tell.
Yeah, I think this was just a Gigabrain play here from Cozy, just reading the fact that it was going to be a rotation. Cozy looking for the 4, the alarm bots and the swarm grenade coming in huge there. Cozy just read that like a book. What a play.
Oh.
Start flying with those knives, and it's really tough to counter on this map, and you see the Astral Wall is going to go up here from the side of Meteors, so we see that come off early. That's Pink Boy's ult there. That's big, but unfortunately it's taken down. That's a huge win for Lightning.
Yeah, for Team Meteors, they decided to of surrounding of their point to make sure the detonator has time to, you know, tick down.
And it's interesting because now you see Cozy actually pop their Killjoy as well. So kind of going back and forth on the ult. The tailwind there from the Jet from Vapor to get into sight, and they all have their back turned.
Oh, no.
Brutal. Brutal.
Frosty popping their ultimate right now as we speak, so that big Venom Cloud's going to start rising up. The alarm bot has been triggered for Sith, so they know people are coming in. As the wall goes down, unfortunately, Frosty will pick up Sith, and then Rice Balls will pick up Colby.
The running shots from Rice Balls, too. Jeez, those were great shots. That was really impressive. 2 good.
So it's very nice to see someone playing into that character's play style as strongly as Vapor does. And we do also have Cozy, who is who's very strong in the Sentinel role, and they like to play more in the control bomb site by themselves, but they're also a top fragger for their team, so I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Wow, and there you go. There's the Sheriff going off for